It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom,
with Jason
Ross.
Jay,
I had sense. Regard him.
Text or call the show at
absolutely
916-339-1140.
If you're doing it, then do it. If not, then he's
Sactown Sports 1140.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow.
Hi. How are you doing today, Carmichael Dave?
Hey, now. Look, there's
that guy.
I don't know.
He looks older.
He was like, it's Kings opening week. I'm taking the week off.
He's seen enough.
He's seen enough. That's it.
Had to mourn.
Hey, so did I. What do you know? We both had morning weekends.
So over this marriage with the Kings.
Oh, boy. Wow.
It's like, it's been 16 years.
Yeah.
How many times do they tell you when you fight, I'm going to get better, I'm going to seek help,
I know.
and I'm going to be a better partner. And then they just fail every time. They walk home drunk from an 89-point second half, and you're like, again?
But is it
First half, excuse me.
Is it their fault?
It is their
Or
fault.
are they just who they are and we keep coming back?
It's their fault.
Oh.
It's their fault.
I mean, at some point, at
Are you
some,
saying I should be filing divorce?
I'm saying at some point you just gotta wake up in the morning and look at what's next to you and say, "Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life?"
I don't know, man. I need more romance in my life.
Wait, are we doing this?
No, we're still basketball.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Good morning. Why does it say Ryan says I'm doubled in the YouTube feed?
Echo.
Oh wait, hold on. That I think that's my fault. Hold on.
It is my fault. Okay, gotcha. Good morning. This is what happens when Dave gets into StreamYard.
Dave StreamYard.
Yeah. What?
Muted the wrong one.
Oh,
I fixed it.
Thank
Leave
you.
it be. Don't touch.
I'm not.
Don't touch.
It's just weird. I didn't have that issue last week. I think it's Jay.
Proof.
Right? That's why you have that pretty ticker right now.
I actually did a ticker too, and I had the right time for Frankie. You didn't.
What time is Frankie?
7:43.
What'd I say?
7:44.
Whatever.
You were way off.
Easy there, Samsonite.
It's an extra minute. That's an extra minute.
Don't take away Frankie's minute.
No, I won't. Good morning. And good morning. Hello. And good morning. How are you? Welcome in. It is a Monday, October 24. And
Echo again.
Echo again. This is not my fault now this time, is it? Should I have both muted, Jay?
I muted Jason too.
Oh.
So you threw me off with the
Okay.
third screen.
All right. There
I'm
we
gonna
go.
have to get used to that.
Now we're okay. Sorry.
Echo.
But then I can
Today.
But then I can highlight tweets like Dave and Jason are still echoing. See, isn't that cute? Oh, good morning and hi. It's kind of like these Kings, man. We got all day to get to that. It's fine. Cooked for 140 people on Saturday.
Oh, was this the week? Oh,
This
that's
is the
right.
week.
It was, yeah.
you
Well, because I was thinking what the cause was. Like, I was
Yeah.
excited
you
about
got
it.
excited. I saw the whole thing. You
And
got
it-
excited. You're like,
Yeah, it all hit me all in once. I processed
fine.
pretty fast.
Honestly, I don't know. Everyone deals with stuff like that differently. It's like he died a month ago, and then you have this like whole month of buildup, and it's like you just kind of want to like, all right, let's, everybody's got to return to their lives and heal and blah blah and all that. So my brother and I are up at we wake up at 5:30. We're on the grill. We have this giant grill at their ranch, like a industrial grill or whatever. And meet's on just before 6 a.m. Service is at 1. So we took a flyer on this one. And I got to be honest with you, man. I'm always complaining and whining. It couldn't have gone better. It couldn't have gone better. Like, we did chicken and ribs. That's what we barbecued. And then we had, beans and macaroni salad, blah, blah. So my big idea was, let's cook the chicken and ribs medium rare. Let's cook it medium rare. And then you have the chicken in one side, in those pans, and you got the ribs in the other pans. And the idea was, okay, they're both going to be sauced, barbecue sauced. And then we're going to dump a bottle of barbecue sauce into each pan, and then we foil them up and we put them in the warmer. because we got done cooking. We didn't know how long it was going to take. We ended up being done at like 10 a.m. with all the barbecuing, which meant that the food had to sit until about 1.
Okay.
So we wrap it in foil, we put it in coolers, wrap it in towels. I went on YouTube, learned that one. And then we get to the church thing. They have this huge kitchen. And we put everything in the warmers. And the idea was it would steam slowly until everyone started eating, or everyone would have horrible diarrhea. But hey, either way, it's entertaining and fun.
It's a 50-50 deal.
It's a waiting game at that point. It worked. My daughter even.
The diarrhea?
Yeah, everyone got diarrhea. It was amazing. It was awesome. It was just, the bathrooms were full. Ended up just being right. It just ended up being a fun fest. No, it was great, and Avery loved it, and it was cool. It was a good event, and love everybody down there. It was awesome. Were
there compliments to the chefs?
Yes, there were compliments to the chefs. My brother did the eulogy. I did the song.
Wait.
Yeah, I know. Just don't.
No, wait a minute. Yeah. We can't bypass that.
You
sang.
Yes. I know. Stop looking at Jay. Yeah, he's not even paying attention. It's fine.
You want to reenact?
Nope. So we used to karaoke with him he would pull his guitar out and it would just be a big sing along anyways. And so they wanted there to be a song there. And anyone that you would normally pick was a relative, and they were like, I won't be able to get through it. Like, I can't do it. And then she asked me, and I said, nah, I would like to not do that. But what you're going to turn down a widow who's asking you? Right. So anyway, it was a song called Dusty Bottles by Willie Nelson. It's a new song. He's a big Willie Nelson guy. And I was fine. I was fine through the whole thing. And then I looked at my table, where's my brother, his wife, my nephews who were in their full Coast Guard gear, and then Melissa, Avery, and Mason. And I look over, and what I see, Mason he's crying, and I haven't seen my son cry in like over 3 years. Like he's just Mason.
I can't do it, Dad.
So I look over, and I'm like, oh my God, come on! And then I had to look away because I was just gonna lose it. And I mean, there's my brother with my son. Wow. Like what a killer moment, right? Yeah. So anyway, so I asked him afterwards, and this is just where, proud dad here. I go, hey buddy, listen, you sad you miss grandpa? He's like, yeah, I do, but just all these people I love are crying around me, and it just makes me sad. And I'm like, oh God, okay. I was like, you gotta man up. None of this.
Yeah.
And so I made him run a few laps around the church. Hey, it's fine. Do some push-ups.
Then you gave him one of the diarrhea pieces.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. It was all good. I don't ever want to do anything like that again, but for what it was. And then also, I have the Thanksgiving horde coming over of 27 people. Like, they rented this place out for like $200. And I'm sitting there, bing. I'm like, wait a minute. Could I do Thanksgiving here? Like, are there places in town? I would imagine they're connected to churches or whatever, but even regardless, are there places in town you can rent out on like a Thanksgiving that this thing had a kitchen, it had a TV?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Tables and chairs. I'm thinking, what the heck am I doing it at my house for? Right. Just rent this stinking place, have all my dumb family go there and mess that place up, and then we clean it up, and
you're back home and everything's good.
Everything's great.
Yeah.
I don't have to fit. I mean, right now we're making like a giant L of tables in our head. We don't have room for 30 people in my house. I mean, people coming out of the rafters. Someone's gonna be eating in Mason's bedroom. I don't know what's going on.
I'll be crying again.
Exactly. So, anyways, also something's wrong with Gus. We had to take him to the vet today. He's scooting around the floor.
Dragging the rear.
He's dragging
the bus.
Yeah, he's visiting Uranus, and it's all fun and games until you pull the covers up to go to bed. You pull your comforter up, and you realize you are sleeping on Skid Row. Yeah,
18 in life to go.
18 in life to go. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll let you know what's going on with Gus. Apparently, we looked it up, and it said you can actually lift him up and look in his, and you might even be able to see. And I'm
surprise!
I'm like, I'm good, dude. I already wipe his rear because he doesn't have a tail. Anyways, We'll take a break. I'd rather just talk about other stuff, but there was some fun stuff over the week.
Absolutely.
Stingers up.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it.
I did see
I
it.
saw it.
You did.
Oh, I saw it. We all saw it. We've got ourselves a World Series, and I didn't want to talk about that. We had the Kings weekend. Christian McCaffrey made his debut. The Raiders won. Let's pause. Let's take a deep breath for exactly 60 seconds. Leading off is next.
Log on to Sactown Sports' YouTube channel following every Kings game this season for the Sactown Sports Kings Recap. Carmichael Dave, Nick Cattles, Rami Mackloff, and Chris Watkins interact with you directly after every Kings game all season long. Subscribe now and get notifications by searching for Sactown Sports on YouTube.
Kings get the victory, and the celebration continues
On Sactown Sports, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings.
Your back-to-back Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are back in action at home this Saturday, October 29th, against the Idaho Vandals. It's homecoming, so arrive early for the homecoming festivities and the tailgate. Plus, post-game fireworks will light up the sky. Don't miss the excitement of Sacramento State football this season as your Hornets aim for another Big Sky championship. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Let's do it. It's time for Leading Off. Brought to you by Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge, where for over 60 years, their name means a great deal in Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com. Here's cut number 1.
inbounds to Curry. Ball game over. For the 6th consecutive time, the Warriors have defeated the Kings. The final is 130 to 125. And who would have thought that after going down by as many as 26, that the Kings would even have a shot at pulling off some magic?
Well, let's look at it like this. Kings come away with the second half victory, 54-41. They hold the Warriors to 41 points in the second half.
There you go.
17 in the fourth. Outscored them 31-17.
So that's like the old CBA where they did keep track of winning quarters.
Yes. That's what they should have. Well, still would have lost. But, listen. I don't know. I don't know what we can take positives out of it. Sure. Kings are 0-3.
Yep.
And
that's the reality.
Doesn't get any easier. They'll get a feel.
Trending to go 0-82.
I mean, they're honestly trending to go 1-7. That's I let me put it this way. They probably won't be 1-7. We were talking about this before the show.
It'll probably be 0-8.
Like on paper, maybe even February. On paper, they'll be 1-7 by the time they go back to Golden State November 7th.
Okay.
Home Memphis, home Miami. At Charlotte's kind of questionable, but they should have LaMelo Ball back. And by the way, they have 2 wins at Miami and then at Orlando. That's again, they won't be favored
right
until that Orlando game. And by the way,
hey, they've covered the last 2 games.
They have. Hey, listen.
So on paper, they've covered.
They have covered. I got a buddy who likes to bet on sports. And it was from his point of view, it was an amazing Kings weekend because he took the Kings Friday and Sunday.
Oh, there you go.
And you might remember on Friday, as time was expiring, De'Aaron Fox hit a pointless 3 that went in after the Kings missed 2 previous threes on that possession.
They got 3 points for that.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as pointless basketball.
Well, no, because that changed a lot of money hands right there. De'Aaron Fox and the Kings covered Friday out of nowhere, backdoor if there ever was one.
Hello.
And then last night, the line was 10, depending on when you got it.
Cover.
Warriors covered the spread before the Kings scored a basket. They were up 10-0, and Kings were down big at
26 at one point.
Yeah, and they ended up covering handily.
See, look at that.
So if you bet on the Kings over the weekend, you made a lot of money. If you are a fan of the Kings, you lost a lot of your soul.
Not much left to lose.
That's true. Well, here we are.
It'd
be interesting to take stock of the fan base. Also, we have to talk about who is the big scapegoat this year. I think you're right in your nominee. And a poll I put out over the weekend. If If Keegan Murray's going to start, who does he start for? You might be surprised at the results.
Okay.
So we got a lot to talk about.
Are you saying there might be some recency bias in there?
Might be some recency bias there. Number 2.
Cut number 2.
A neat touch by Henny. He'll have to do it one more time. Chiefs win it 44-23 over the San Francisco 49ers here in Santa Clara.
Why did Paul get blocked on our thing?
He's just being Paul.
Oh, is he?
He'll be
Okay.
back in like 2 minutes for all of you, unfortunately.
This is block weekend. He got blocked off the big sky.
The funny thing is, he comes there. Yeah, I got blocked. I think someone like said something mean to him. Yeah, because Paul never instigates anything.
I love Paul.
No, you don't.
The Chiefs. Hey, you know what? Listen, the Chiefs Niners is a good game for half.
It started so well. Like the great energy, McCaffrey's early runs. You're like, oh my gosh, you can see how this is going to be awesome. And the Niners' elite defense with guys back, then all of a sudden didn't look so elite.
I mean, they picked off Mahomes.
Yeah. Great game through actually a little bit more than a half.
Yeah,
and then it just, boom.
Yeah, McCaffrey averaged just under 5 yards a carry. He had 8 rushes, 38 yards. He had a couple of catches. Listen, the fact that he got off the plane like 5 minutes before the game, basically, and was able to fit himself in to 62 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah, he'll fit just fine.
He'll be just fine.
I have a hot take because I know you want to talk about later the NFL media not knowing anything.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are okay without Tyreek Hill.
You think so?
Yeah, getting a full dose of them yesterday against the, arguably the best defense in the league. I think they're okay.
Well, Juju Smith-Schuster had 7 catches for $124. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which is a low-key awesome name, by the way. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. As a matter of fact,
MVS.
The Chiefs, I'm pretty sure, have the 2 best wide receiver names.
Most hyphenated.
Yeah. Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster. Scantling had 3 catches for 111 yards, and then you had Travis Kelce with 98 yards. You almost had 3 100-yard receivers. Kelce was 2 yards away. As a matter of fact, on National Tight Ends Day, Kelce and George Kittle both had 6 catches for 98 yards.
How about that?
How about that? Kittle also had a touchdown in there as well. Yeah, dude, it was a really good, it was 14-13 Chiefs at the half, and then the Niners had the lead for most of the game. And then the Chiefs said, they ate the Mario star, got invincible, and 30-10 in the second. The Niners' vaunted defense gave and I get they're injured. 44 points. Yeah.
They're injured, but they did get guys back yesterday.
Did.
I mean, that's what was a little bit more concerning.
Yeah, they had Ward, they had Warner, they had Bosa, they had Hufanga for most of the game. They had Drake.
Still missing Armstead, right?
Yeah, Ward. It was demoralizing, dude. This wasn't just a loss. Like, the Chiefs took their soul. Like, they took their soul.
Yeah.
In that second half on their own field.
Yeah, because I mean, again, I thought it was great, well played, good energy, good vibes. Looked like 2 good teams, and then by the end, it's like, wow, this one got out of hand. Boy, the Chiefs outclassed them.
Yeah, they really did. So we're gonna have Matt Barrows on at 8:00 to talk a little bit about that and see where the Niners go from here. Well, I know where they go. They go to their next game.
Right.
Los Angeles.
Yeah. Okay, great. Number 3.
Cut number 3.
Suarez delivers. Swing and a drive. Left field. It's deep. It's going. Yes. And it is gone. Yes. It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top. The 1-2 to Judge. Ground ball, weakly hit. Presley has it. Chops part away the first. Underhands to Yuli inside. Starts running the news. The Houston Astros break out the brooms in the Bronx. And
Extra, read all about it.
I'm not as upset as you are, but I don't know. I actually might be more upset than you because you're so even keeled about this stuff. It's stupid Astros. Dumb Astros.
Got him.
If the Yankees won, what did it do? Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. I mean, actually,
Judge.
Right. It was a little, I don't know, Shakespearean that it was Aaron Judge that ended.
I know.
The
Was it his
season.
last at bat?
Soon to be giant Aaron Judge.
What?
Soon to be giant Aaron Judge.
He's already really big.
He is very big already. Boy, did I think he said something else.
What do you think I said?
I'm not going to say on the radio.
I'm not. I can think. Oh, yeah.
I don't.
You just kind of mushed some words together, and I heard something that had no context at all with what he was talking about. He said, giant Aaron. Yeah. Yeah. So here we go. Phillies Astros.
The series everyone predicted. Actually, Houston's really good, but Phillies, how are they doing this?
Like, I'm in a situation where I'm forced to root for Bryce Harper and his dumb face.
That's a clown question, bro.
God.
You don't have to root for either one.
I have to have some rooting interest in this.
Dusty Baker, Reese Hoskins,
Jose Altuve.
I told you guys before the show, I think Dusty winning the World Series would be like when Ron Artest won the finals with the Lakers. I was really happy for Ron, and I hate the Lakers. I will be really happy for Dusty, and that will be the saving grace of the Astros cheating their way into a championship again. Because I know they're cheating. They're cheating.
That's how they did it.
Yeah. That's exactly. I mean, come on.
That's how they did it.
Only a third team ever to sweep their way through the division and the ALCS or
something.
I mean, the Yankees had 2 hits over 3 games. There was something going on.
Listen, if we're gonna be able to say, hey, listen, we think Aaron Judge is
the Astros pitchers were being tipped off of the Yankees batters.
I'm telling you,
they're gonna swing or not.
We'll take a break. When we come back, speaking of old washed up people, which we weren't at the time, but I'm trying to segue here. 2 NFL Titans, not the Tennessee ones, are in serious trouble. Honestly, are Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady washed? Are either of them washed? We got to take a look at that next.
You want Kings talk?
I'm a diehard Kings fan.
There's nowhere else you need to go but here. Kings games, Kings interviews, Kings breaking news, Kings coverage. Nobody has it all but us. Sactown Sports, your local sports leader.
The new Fords have arrived at Folsom Lake Ford. I know you've been waiting for a new F-150 or maybe an Explorer or Expedition. Guess what? Folsom Lake Ford has them. Your truck headquarters for over 30 years right here in Sacramento is all stocked up with new Fords and used vehicles. Save with low interest financing on your favorite new models and 0 down deals available on all new and used vehicles with approved credit. Get top dollar for your trade, making your monthly payment on your new Ford even lower. Folsom Lake Ford is the only dealership I recommend to my friends. A Triple Crown Award winner for sales, service, and finance. Highway 50 Folsom exit, or browse fresh inventory online at folsomlakeford.com. It's updated almost daily. And if you can't find what you're looking for, give them a call. Tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford.
My daughter is in middle school, which means my car has to put up with, girls opening the door when their nail polish isn't quite dry, or soccer kids kicking the door shut with muddy cleats, or when their school crush shakes up a soda and opens it right in front of my bumper. So you can expect my car to look a mess, but I defy expectations. Thanks to Quick Whack, I don't have to look like middle schoolers are running this show, even though they kind of are. Head to Quick Whack for a shine that lets you defy expectations.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
Food is late again.
You should have ordered through EasyCater. Professionally delivered right on time.
EasyCater, huh? Have a pen?
No, I don't have a pen. Does anyone have a pen?
Nah, I'll remember.
Why don't all companies order through EasyCater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. That's our thing.
At Progressive, you can get 24/7 protection, even if you break the space-time continuum.
We did it. We time traveled to yesterday. Wait, Progressive covers us 24/7, but we just created an 8-day week, and it's 24/7 coverage, not 24/8. We gotta go back.
Are you joking right now?
Shh, I'm calling them. Hi, I have a question about time travel.
Progressive offers more than a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, which literally means anytime. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. Pi Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments, the kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right, but many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. And with helpful representatives just a call away, it's easy to understand why Pi is rated excellent by customers on Trustpilot. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Join Sactown Sports and Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge at Twin Peaks for Chicago and New England. You could win tickets to see Black Adam at the Esquire IMAX and a shot at the $50,000 Vince's football toss at the Hard Rock come season's end.
Sactown Sports headlines.
It was a rough Sunday for the Sacramento Kings, who visited the Warriors last night in San Francisco, falling to Golden State 125-130. De'Aaron Fox led the Kings in scoring with 26 points while also dishing 10 assists. But the real statistic was the Kings setting a Sacramento-era record by giving up 89 points in the first half. The Kings fall to 0-3 on the season. They had their chance at their first win Thursday night against the Grizzlies. Speaking of a lack of defense, the 49ers struggled yesterday in their loss to Kansas City 44-23. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes diced up the Niners defense for 423 yards and 3 touchdowns. New San Francisco 49er Christian McCaffrey rushed the ball 8 times for 38 yards and caught 2 passes for 24 yards. The Niners fall to 3-4 on the season and head to LA to visit the Rams this Sunday. The World Series is set after the Astros swept the Yankees following a 6-5 victory in the Bronx yesterday. They'll be taking on the Phillies, who took care of the Padres in 5 games.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Popped up. Shallow right. Segura going out. Castellanos coming on. Castellanos has it. And the Phillies have the National League Championship. They have beaten the Padres 4-3, and they celebrate on their home turf.
Game 1 is set for this Friday in Houston. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The only local sports show in the morning.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
They're playing Sweet Caroline. Even before the clocks went to 0-0, the Panthers get in the win column. In a week where they traded away Christian McCaffrey, in a week where they traded away Robbie Anderson, in a week where nobody gave them a chance, this team showed you what they're about. They knock off Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in convincing fashion.
So Maury Torre, who throws to Aaron Rodgers, who has the ball, throws the ball back towards the far side, let it out of bounds it goes. What a wild end to the game here at FedEx Field. And Washington is going to get away with one and move to 3-4.
No one feels good about where we're at. No one feels good about how we played or what we're doing. So we're all in it together, man. We've got to go pour ourselves out of it.
You just got to play better, all of us. You know, I think if we all look at the film, there's probably a number of plays in every phase that we could have done better. But I said it before, the margin of error is so tight that we don't execute at all on offense. It's not winning football.
That's Aaron Rodgers. Before him, Tom Brady. And before that, highlights the final calls from the Commanders win over the Packers. And really, more surprisingly, the Christian McCaffrey-less, tankingest Carolina Panthers.
But domination, too. Like they blew them out.
They really 21-3.
Yeah, and the 3 came really late. It was almost like Tampa's going, well, we don't want to get shut out. Why?
No.
You need touchdowns here. Like that was awful.
That was really, really bad. Here's the funny thing: Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in first place.
Yeah, 3-4.
Yeah, tied with the Falcons.
Right.
Which
bad division.
Bad division,
but that helps you.
Yeah. And the Green Bay Packers. Well, the Green Bay Packers they're 3 games behind the Vikings. They're not getting the same break that Tom Brady and his Buccaneers are.
I think what helps both of these guys, obviously their career resume is impeccable, but the NFC is not good.
No.
Like the totality of it.
Correct.
You've got the Giants doing some amazing things.
Yeah.
Philly, Dallas, that division all of a sudden surprising a lot of people. But I think the Niners will be just fine over the grand scheme of things. But who's really great in the NFC? Because I think a lot of people thought the Packers and or the Bucks could be, and neither one is.
No, and you look at the NFC East. I was looking at this last night. The NFC East is collectively 20-7.
That's amazing.
They have won a collective 13 games in a row. There's no the Commanders have won 2 in a row. Heck, the Cowboys have the smallest winning streak at 1.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Giants are 6-1. The New York Giants are 6-1.
And I still don't know if they're good.
I don't either.
But they're 6-1, and you've got to enjoy that.
The New York football is 16-4. What?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, Jets have won 4 in a row, too.
Yes, Jets have won 4 in a row. Bills have won
we think
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Yes. What? Like what? Speaking of, if you want to go that route, the New York football teams have a combined 11-game winning streak.
Yeah. Now, what's weird about the Brady and Rodgers thing to me is, both those guys have been through some times, right? It just happens in sports. But I think it would be easier for us to all understand if we were going here, Dave. Man, Brady was great, but Tampa's 3-4. Rodgers has played like the MVP, but here's Green Bay at 3-4. Neither one has looked very good. And the team, sure, but the quarterbacks themselves, like just struggling to make a difference in these games.
This is something I actually put a note in to talk about later, and we still can. But I want to take a step back. We're big on micro macro here on the show. Micro look, macro look. The view from 50,000 feet always fascinates me. You step back and you look at the landscape. And I just want to say, and this is not really this is not something a sports radio host should say, but hey, we're all family.
Mm-hmm.
Sports radio is just such a farce. It's just
are you letting out trade secrets?
It's such a fraud. And you have actual smart people that spend time really getting into the conversations and arguing. And here's what I mean by that. Nobody knows anything. They don't know anything. Nothing. You might have more, there was a big controversy over the week. I don't even know who they were, but a couple of media guys took cracks at podcasters and how, like, why do people listen to podcasters? They're not even insiders. They're not connected to the team like we are. We have credentials. Yeah, it was it was bad. It was in the Bay Area too. I don't know who they are, which probably tells you something. But anyways, nobody knows anything. Like Matt Barrows knows things about the team as far as injuries and what's being said in the locker room. He has no idea who's going to win this week or next week or last week. He doesn't know if they're good or not. Look at all the time from, basically March. You get a month to recover from the Super Bowl. From March, and then how it builds up in August, and then crescendos in September when the season opens. Like, this team's going to be this, and this team's going to suck, and this team's going to be great. And granted, guess what? The Bills are good.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are good.
Okay.
The Steelers aren't great. The Texans aren't great. Like, there's things in there you get right. Nobody knew what the Jets were going to do. Nobody knew what the Giants were going to do. Nobody knew the Cowboys would lose Dak Prescott in week 1 and reel off, 3-4 in a row. Nobody knew the Eagles were going to be undefeated. Maybe they thought they'd be a little bit better. Nobody knew Russell Wilson was going to absolutely tank. And when I say nobody, there's somebody out there that's like, I knew. It's probably Earl. I knew. Well, okay, you knew that thing, but you didn't know the 50 other things.
Well, and the other part, too, is we could do that today. You and I could just maybe even say, let's proclaim whether or not Tom Brady and the Bucs or Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are going to get it right, be playoff teams, and maybe win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
We could take either side and say, no. We could get on here and say they're done, they're washed, their season and team is over. We might be right, but were we right because we just threw that out there? Or are we going, well, I've actually broken down all the tape and the video and they don't have enough line, or vice versa and say, I think they're going to be just fine and they're actually going to be in the NFC Championship game. We also could be right there too. Sometimes people just throw stuff out there.
Did you have the Seahawks being sole possession of first place in week 7?
No.
Nobody knows, and
that's what makes it fun. In honesty,
it does, and that's the big reason I'm kind of bringing it up is like coming in. Listen, you can't just. Here's the other thing, though. Hey, future podcasters and sports hosts out there, listen up. You're always asking, hey, how do I? What's the secret? Well, the secret is this. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are washed, and they should have retired. And then, Jason, you say, what are you talking about?
Right.
RELAX. Remember that? How many times are you going to go in on Aaron? How many times are you going to give up on Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady?
Yeah, I guarantee they win the next 7 games.
You're full of garbage. You have no. Are they paying? And then you yell, and then I say 1-800-920-1140 is Jason Wash. Am I crazy? And then Fred Notgrove calls in and go, you guys are stupid, and then everyone yells at each other.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's the secret sauce. What I'm worried about is are Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers washed like Chris Guerrero's belt loops, or are they just doing their thing and they'll figure it out? And here's the point: we have to come in and be like, no, this is what's going to happen. Here's my truthful answer. I have no idea.
Right.
I think that at least one of those teams will end up making noise in the playoffs because we've seen this a billion times from Aaron Rodgers and 750 million times from Tom Brady. And what I mean by that is Aaron, I think, has had a lot more terrible starts than Tom Brady. I mean, again, RELAX.
Yeah.
No one remembers that?
Right. And I get, I'm going to do the probably the more pragmatic and logical thought here. I think Brady has the better chance right now just because of the division.
Yeah.
Just because of the division. Not because I think he's going to, turn it around himself or this team. They look broken, but that could change in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Their division is wide open for them still to win, and that gets you in the playoffs.
Well, speaking of playoff teams, the Raiders, somebody break up that bullet train. They win their second in a row in semi-easy fashion. I mean, for them. We'll get into the Raiders game next.
Your home for the most comprehensive 49ers coverage.
Debo, Bosa, to our very own Armstead.
The 49ers Authority, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Cut him off. Stay in front of him. Okay, take a break. Sacramento, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking whatever happened to the off season. Seems there's never any downtime. Now, I'm not complaining, but it means that we've got to be at our best every day. No excuses allowed. That includes pain in the feet, legs, hips, and back. Fortunately, thanks to the Good Feet 3-step arch support system, you no longer need to be sidelined with foot-related pain. For over 25 years, Good Feet arch supports have been designed to comfortably put all 4 arches of the foot and whole body in its more ideal pain-free position. Good Feet makes over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities of arch supports. And to make sure you get just the right pair, a Good Feet arch support specialist will give you a free personalized fitting and test walk. Do your best every day with the pain-free comfort, balance, and support of Good Feet arch support. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto, online at goodfeet.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael, Dave, and listen, even though it may not feel like it sometimes, fall is officially here. The weather may be a little bit uncomfortable, too warm for me. 1 minute it's cool and raining. I love that. But the next day it's hot and sunny. What can make you comfortable inside, though, is knowing your AC and furnace will be working properly and efficiently for whatever temperature it is outside. Take advantage of American Energy's $49 AC or furnace 30-point tune-up today. Make sure you and your family are ready for the changing weather. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football. NFL Week 7 wraps up with a battle of young quarterbacks when Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears visit the New England Patriots. The Pats are on a 2-game win streak with rookie quarterback Bailey Zappi filling in for Mac Jones. Now Jones prepares to come back. Can they keep the trend going? Find out on Monday Night Football.
Get ready for the game with more details and preview at WestwoodOneSports.com.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back. If your first bet doesn't win, just sign up with the promo code WIN. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. So sign up today with promo code WIN for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Must be present in state where lawful to wager. 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Arizona 1-800-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Indiana, Kansas 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com. Louisiana 1-877-770-STOP. New York 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. Wyoming, West Virginia 1-800-522-4700 or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net.
Buying a new Acura is an easy decision, and Acura of Stockton makes buying easy. Come and see us today or shop online. If we don't have it, you can pre-select your favorite Acura and pick it up when it arrives. No contracts or deposits required. It's that easy. Plus, we'll pay top dollar for your trade whether you buy from us or not. Don't settle for less than the quality of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or online at AcuraofStockton.com.
You know they've been here for a combined 50 years.
Hey!
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Snap to Carr. Pressure off the edge. Drops up in the pocket. Fires down the middle. Hollins at the 3. Grabs it into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. Snap on 1st and goal. Pitch to Jacobs racing left. Breaks a tackle. Leads the ball forward. Touchdown Raiders. Josh Jacobs wouldn't be denied again.
This is the area of field where Hunter Renfrow usually shines, and they're going to double cover him.
He's in the slot to the right. Instead, it's a handoff into the belly of Jacobs. Bounces off a defender at the 2 and in the end zone. Touchdown Raiders. 1st and 10 on the Texans 15. Delayed handoff to Jacobs. Huge hole up the middle. 10. Cuts right side 5. Touchdown Jacobs. The hat trick in the end zone. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. Over the middle, intercepted Harmon at the 30, 40, racing far side 50, 30, Harmon at the 25, touchdown Raiders, Deron Harmon.
Hey, yeah. Well, there you go. Big win for the Raiders. We talked about this. You know, the Raiders' schedule opens up.
Mm-hmm.
This is the over-under on their win total, 8.5 for the season, and they are currently sitting at 2-4. That means they'd have to finish 7-4. I think the rest of the year. My math's probably off. But their losses, and this is where you can look at minutia. It doesn't always tell you everything, but they lost to the Chargers by 5. They lost to the Cardinals in OT.
Yeah, I gave that game away.
Gave it away. Lost to the Titans in Tennessee by 2, but that was kind of the opposite of the card. They came back.
They should have lost.
They should have lost. And they lost to the Chiefs by 1 point, in Arrowhead. And you saw what the Chiefs did. Now, again, styles make fights, and you can't say, well, the Raiders are 15 points better than the Niners because of that. But now you go to New Orleans and you play the Saints. It's a very winnable game. Jacksonville is not – they're still not an easy out like they were before, but then you got the Colts at home. You go to the Broncos, who you've already beaten. The Seahawks are no longer an easy out, but again, should be a winnable game. And then home against the Chargers. This is a stretch where that will absolutely determine the Raiders making the playoffs or not.
Yeah, and they've actually done it. What they've done better lately here is still a recipe that can make you a successful team. Josh Jacobs has been amazing.
Yes.
Had another big day, 3 rushing touchdowns, over 100 on the ground. He's done this in multiple games now, and I thought, honestly, they play without Waller again, but I thought it would be an Adams, Waller, Renfro, air attack, Carr having an MVP-type year with those weapons around him. Back to our point of what we thought a team would be to what they are. Here are the Raiders really getting it done more with their ground game.
And I want to say, I'm looking at this, unless something has changed here. Yeah, shocking. Remember, they didn't extend Josh.
Right.
He's in the contract.
Yeah. There was a lot of time. What was it? It was the first preseason game where everybody sat out, but Jacobs played. And you're going, wait, what kind of message is this?
Yeah.
Well, here's Jacobs. He's having his best year right now.
It honestly, in the preseason, combined with them not extending him, it just kind of looked like, well, we're phasing him out.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. And it could still be that way, but if they are, they're getting the most out of him right now.
I mean, Josh Jacobs is, as you said, he's having an absolute career year. And I think a big part of that is Devontae Adams is helping him out. Listen, Jacobs is now 7 games into the season, and he's at 633 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, let's extrapolate that. It's a 17-game season. Granted, that's not always exact, but you're looking at 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns. That's all pro. That's all pro caliber stuff.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. And, this isn't an end-all be-all. Certainly, we're still kind of early in the season, but the Raiders have played 6 games, and most everybody else in point differential in the league that's in the positive is a winning team.
Yeah.
They're plus 13. Yes. They're losing. One of the others is the Niners that's below 500. That's also in the positive. But I think that just shows you, to your point, how close they were in their losses. They won a couple of games here, had a good, strong finish, a 21-0 fourth quarter yesterday. And a division, talk about what everybody thought would just be the most difficult division in sports. Chiefs are good. Chargers had a weird loss again yesterday. Broncos are disappointing, and the Raiders are kind of still trying to figure out what they are.
Josh Jacobs talked after the game about breaking Marcus Allen's rushing record.
It's been huge to see him, especially him being who he is and being a great running back in his game, to be able to take the time and, mentor me and talk to me about things that he see and things like that. I don't really take that for granted. So it's been huge to be able to have him here and him be happy for me reading his record is definitely been huge for me.
Well, Derek Carr has nothing but great things to say about Josh Jacobs, which you would absolutely expect.
Josh is one of the best backs in the league. He's not a slouch, back there. And so, if our guys keep working hard and keep doing the right things, then we want to be a balanced football team.
Mm-hmm. How about one more here, Josh McDaniels?
You can't just say we're going to be a tough team and then all of a sudden it happens. That's all about work, and you earn that. You earn the right to be a tough team with what you do during the week.
Still don't have Darren Waller.
Right. And so it doesn't feel like they're fully complete. He's missed a couple weeks. I think the offense has a chance still to be great. Hasn't shown, especially if Jacobs runs like this. The home field, I know there's always more fans from some of the other teams, maybe in other cities, but they've been a good team there, and they just got to keep it going.
Shout out to Foster Moreau, by the way, who has been nice enough in Waller's absence. So you look at what they're trying to build. Everything is always, for me, at 6 degrees of Sacramento Kings.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, it's 2 wins in a row. Okay.
Or 2 or 3.
2 or 3, excuse me. I'm sorry. But you wonder, beyond the obvious, which is the record, how much this win is really helping Josh McDaniels and that locker room, because you have a new coach who didn't have a lot of success in his last stint, who everyone's asking, including me, is he just a really good coordinator for Bill Belichick? And they come out of the blocks not great. They're still 2-4. But as the season goes on, you wonder if some of those things that Josh McDaniels and company have been trying to implement and get out of that Gruden system, now you get buy-in and belief.
Yeah.
Like, wow, look at this. And that's a similar task Mike Brown is being faced with right now. They're 0-3.
Yep.
They can say all they want publicly, but you can absolutely bet, whether it's in the locker room, whether it's on the drive home, you got some of these players going, this stuff you're preaching, coach, ain't working.
Yeah, the buy-in, too, is funny because it can also go to the fan base. I think about the Giants, the New York Giants. Like, they absolutely love Brian Daboll right now. And it's because the results are wins.
Yes.
We just asked the question earlier. I don't know if they're good.
Nope.
But the net result is a team that has one loss that is 6-1, and everybody in New York right now believes they're good.
Yes.
And that's what a world of difference. Again, I don't know if they're better than the Raiders. I really don't. But you ask the question when you're 0-3 and when you're 6-1 and you're feeling great, like everything you're doing, the coach is making the world of difference. I don't know if that's factually true or not, but they believe that. And here, to your point, I think it's fair to question whether McDaniels is a good NFL head coach based on his past, based on the way they started, and they still haven't fully turned it around. But it does leave kind of that opening on what is our guy here? What kind of coach is he?
You said something about how everyone in New York thinks the Jets, and we don't know if they're good.
Yeah.
Everybody in New York thinks the Jets and Giants are good.
Yeah.
You're talking about the fan base. I would go a step further. I would say everybody in New York, especially that locker room,
Which is all that matters.
This is all that matters. They think they're good. We can look at the Giants' schedule and we can say, okay, they're 6-1 after 7 games. Let's see. They went to Tennessee and they won by 1. Listen, that's a quality win. Tennessee's got 2 losses on the year. They're a good team. They beat the Panthers. Okay. Well, they lost to the Cowboys. Cowboys are good. They beat the Bears. They beat the Packers. Like, what are you going to do? You got to call the Packers a quality win. You're beating Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
They beat the Ravens. They went into Jacksonville, and they beat the Jaguars. And I got to be honest with you, with the exception of that Titans game, which I think was their but that was game 1. Going into Jacksonville and beating the Jaguars and holding on against the Jaguars, by the way, you could argue, all things considered, they beat the Packers, Ravens, and Jags 3 in a row. They're good. Like, at some point, we're just a couple games away from being halfway. They've got some quality wins.
Yeah, absolutely. And I laugh about it every year when people are like, they haven't played anybody. Who's good in the NFL? It's so hard because the way the league changes week by week and our opinions change. I mean, right now, I think people would say the Chiefs and the Bills, like and Eagles maybe, without hesitation. All right. Well, not everybody's going to play those 3 teams. And even if you played those 3, you got a bunch of other games.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
4 of their last 5 games, Eagles, Vikings, Colts, Eagles.
Okay.
Well, we'll know.
Yep.
We'll know by week 17. All right, let's take a look back at the big Sacramento sports weekend, Saturday to be specific. Well, 2 or 3 ain't bad. We'll get to the winners and the loser next.
Get your 49ers fix every week with the Return of the Empire podcast, featuring Jay Mars and 49ers insider Emil Fugoso.
Let's go Niners!
At SactownSports.com.
Your local sports leader.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814.
Servicing your vehicle has never been so easy. At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Schedule your next service appointment anytime, anywhere at StocktonHonda.com. It only takes a minute to schedule, and our award-winning service team will have you back on the road in no time. Oil changes, tires, parts, and more.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton and Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. And why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When it's time to service your vehicle, experience matters. Trust the experts at Folsom Lake Honda. We understand how important it is to have a safe and reliable vehicle, and our highly trained technicians will get the job done right the first time. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Need an oil change? Our express service will have you in and out fast. Come in or schedule your service online today.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
For 74 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and, well, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 74th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
I'm in the great outdoors doing a little Dodge watching with Vince Bloom, the big guy at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge.
Would you look at that?
Those are some pretty high-powered binoculars you got there, Vince.
Yeah, I use them to spot all the Lasher license plates on Ram trucks out there.
Well, there's bound to be a lot because this month during Ram Power Days, you're offering $10,750 off MSRP on over 20 new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s.
That's a great deal. I know. Hold on. I see another one.
Another Crew Cab?
I think so.
Odds are it's another Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 because in addition to $10,750 off MSRP, you're also offering 0% financing for 48 months.
Ah, he's taking off.
You lose him, Vince?
Oh, no. Just another happy customer migrating back to Elk Grove Dodge.
Save $10,750 off over 20 new 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. Plus, get 0% financing for 48 months.
Only at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge. And the Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com.
Includes $5,250 in California and Chrysler Capital Bonus and retail bonus cash. On approved credit, 0% APR for 48 months is $20.83 per $1,000 borrowed. Sample VIN 395796 ends 10/31/22.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Check out nationally ranked Sacramento State football this Saturday night versus Idaho. 6 p.m. kickoff at Hornet Stadium. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. It's Sactown Sports 1140. Sactown Sports headlines.
It was a rough Sunday for the Sacramento Kings, who visited the Warriors last night in San Francisco, falling to Golden State 125-130. De'Aaron Fox led the Kings in scoring with 26 points while also dishing 10 assists. But the real statistic was the Kings setting a Sacramento-era record by giving up 89 points in the first half. The Kings fall to 0-3 on the season. They had their chance at their first win Thursday night against the Grizzlies. Speaking of a lack of defense, the 49ers struggled yesterday in their loss to Kansas City 44-23. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes diced up the Niners defense for 423 yards and 3 touchdowns. New San Francisco 49er Christian McCaffrey rushed the ball 8 times for 38 yards and caught 2 passes for 24 yards. The Niners fall to 3-4 on the season and head to LA to visit the Rams this Sunday. The World Series is set after the Astros swept the Yankees following a 6-5 victory in the Bronx yesterday. They'll be taking on the Phillies, who took care of the Padres in 5 games.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Popped up. Shallow right. Segura going out. Castellanos coming on. Castellanos has it. And the Phillies have the National League Championship. They have beaten the Padres 4-3, and they celebrate on their home turf.
Game 1 is set for this Friday in Houston. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports 1140.
Welcome back. It's a big weekend. It was a big weekend. It was a hot weekend. We having guests on today.
Yeah, we are. A little bit later, Matt Barrows. We are going to have Frankie Cartoscelli later this hour. And again, all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Yo!
So, as we talked about at the very, very beginning of the show, and I had mentioned last week, so I had the Celebration of Life Saturday for our family member who passed. And I went down Friday, stayed the night, got up Saturday, did the whole thing, and then everyone went back to the house, to the ranch, to sing and dance and drink and blah, blah, whatever. Just be together. And I was so exhausted, I had to come home. But also, I just had to get out of it. And knowing that we had a massive UFC, put that aside.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Kings and Clippers. You had the Republic in the playoffs first round. And you had Sac State football on ESPN2 versus Montana. So let's get the first part out of the way. Spoiler alert. Dad, if you still have it on DVR, sorry. Kings lost to the Clippers Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And we'll get into that, by the way, at 7:27. We'll really start getting into this whole thing. And a little briefer. Republic won. And they've now won, I think it was 2-0. So they've now beaten their last 2 opponents 6-0.
Okay.
Something clicked with them. Very interesting. We'll see if they can carry that in, but they are now well on their way in the USL playoffs. Congratulations to Roro and Coach Mark Hughes and Todd Donovan and Kevin Nagel and everybody who was a part of that, obviously, the 11 on the field. And then I turn on ESPN2, and man, it was just so cool to see the stadium, the fans, the teams, the crowd. And weirdly enough, I said we have a guest coming up with Frankie and then Matt. We actually have a guest right now. It's the play-by-play voice, longtime play-by-play voice for your Sac State Hornets. You're soon to be number 2.
Well, they were. So again, there are 2 polls, media poll and coaches poll last week. There were 2 in one of them, 3 in the other. Rankings are funny. I've seen some writers say,
I'm sorry. I said Mark Hughes, Mark Briggs. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me on the text line. Anyways, go ahead.
Some have said they may adjust their rankings and move the Hornets down because it was such a close game and they trailed and they had to rally to win, and whatever. They're a really good football team that had a heck of a comeback to win.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Because they were in trouble.
Civic pride. They were in big trouble.
Yeah.
And let's get the elephant out of the room. My opinion, it's probably one of the few times in Sacramento sports history in a big game that we might have gotten a call that should not have gone our way.
Yeah, I think this clearly goes to the definition of, is it clear and concise evidence to overturn it? I said it on the air. I thought the receiver, Jared Gibson, was out of bounds.
Same here.
That's my thought.
Here.
But now can I give you I'm like, oh, he was out 100%. No, I'm not certain it was ruled a catch, and they kept it that way. That surprised me.
Right.
But, yeah, you're right. It was nice to look, there's a game of mistakes, a game for officials, too. I would have called it the other way. But I'm not telling you with conviction that it was wrong.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can do that. This just very much felt like if this was an Alabama-Tennessee type broadcast with all the camera angles there, they just didn't have – I don't think they had the angles. Yeah. It looked like – by the way, 4th down, Sac State had to have it. That was the ball game. If that call goes the other way, the refs are basically saying you've lost the game on the home field.
Right.
I don't know that influence – no one will ever know if that influences anything or not, but –
yeah, it just turned out to be on a night where it's the first time they're ever on national TV. You have all the other events going on. It was so late. We actually signed off our post game Sunday morning. It was 12:01.
Really?
I'd never been a part of a broadcast like that. With TV, it just took longer, started later. Long game, goes overtime.
Yeah.
Great crowd. And it turned into a classic because this team has not trailed all year. They trailed all game. They were down 10 3 different times, and it just kind of looked like, oh man, they're gonna run out of time, and they didn't. And somehow they won, and they won an OT. And to see, for me, one of my joys of it was, I mean, they were ranked 2. Montana's 7. It's a great program.
Yeah,
the students rushed the field.
Yes,
and that was really cool.
Saw that. That was super cool. Jake Dunaway 3 picks.
Yeah.
But 2 touchdowns. Asher O'Hara came in and just glided. Is Asher O'Hara, is he, why am I blanking? New Orleans quarterback.
Oh,
come on.
Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill.
He has 12 rushing touchdowns this year for your quarterback.
It was like he was untouched almost.
Yeah, it was a little bit abnormal the way the Hornets played. Normally, I mean, they played both quarterbacks, but it's a lot more every other down, it was a lot of Asher in the first half, a lot of Jake Dunaway in the second half. But for them to win like that, to beat Montana again, that's the 3rd straight time they've beaten them after Montana's just owned the Big Sky for all those years, and to have that moment again, just to stay perfect, first time in school history, they're 7-0. It's really a fun ride right now.
I can imagine. And Cameron Scadaboo, 111 on the ground, added another 38, 40 yards, and the block at the end of the game. He took out 2 guys.
Yes.
For that, he did it all. I will say this: I don't know if anybody else noticed this or not. And again, I don't claim to be I'm a 100% Hornets bandwagoner. Anything Sacramento, I'm in all the way when it comes to this. I'm 100% a bandwagoner. I don't know if anybody else noticed this during the broadcast, but there was a play, I want to say in the first quarter, where Scadaboo took a hit.
Okay.
And it was a close-up on him, and he's getting up, and he's just like, he's shaking his head. He's shaking his head, and I remember thinking, oh, God, with Tua, Tagovailoa, and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking, oh, God, did we just lose Cameron Scadaboo? And obviously, college football not the same as the NFL with what they're doing. And then I kept I was watching with my wife and some friends, and they started noticing it. And there was at least 1 or 2 other times the rest of the game where they'd close up on Cameron Scadaboo, and he was shaking his head again.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking, is this normal?
Okay.
Is that just like a tick or something he normally does? Or are we dealing with a concussed individual? Either way, I hope he's okay. I hope it's a tick. I hope it has nothing to do with anything concussion-wise.
Well, and on the same night that Sac State knocked out the starting quarterback for Montana, who clearly had to go into concussion protocol and a targeting play that cost the Hornets one of their defensive linemen, but certainly was ill-advised. You never want to see a play like that. It was a weird night, too. Time of possession was something like that. Montana had the ball for a whole quarter more than the Hornets, ran a bunch more plays. The Hornets gave it up 4 times, just thinking, man, the time they're on national TV, they're not playing their best version of themselves.
No.
but they saved the best for last and kept the dream season going.
Well, that's the thing. It really was a rocky situation.
Yeah.
It's 17-7 with about $1:30, I think, left in the third. Montana scores 17-7. You go into the fourth quarter, and everything, just about everything. Although, what was the? I mean, listen. Shouts to Coach Troy Taylor, who is a phenom.
Yeah.
And has, hopefully he'll stay at Sac State, but we discussed this earlier.
Yeah.
Who knows? But at least for now, he's there. What was the like they were going to kick a field goal, then they marched everybody out? Like, was that just
I got a little clarity on that, a little bit. So, yeah, it was the end of regulation, right? It would have been a school record, I think, 50.
Yeah, it would have been a
56-yard field goal.
And the wind was whipping around,
and it was going against him. Yeah. So Kyle Senkowski could probably hit that, certainly going the other way.
Yes,
away from Highway 50, but they were going
right.
So that's the way they were going, away from Highway 50. So the wind was going towards Highway 50. And I think basically what they were doing was a little gamesmanship, but also wanted to see then when they came out of the timeout, they brought the kicker back out. What they had different was Jake Dunaway was the holder. Now he's held before, but that's their quarterback.
Okay.
So I think they were going to throw the ball downfield like a fake field goal.
Okay.
Montana brought put a guy all the way into the end zone. So they thought, okay, we're not going to risk this. It was the guy they put back there actually had one of those kick six.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago. So like, it's not worth doing that. They get the delay of game, kind of bring the field goal out unit again, then race out the offense. They threw the Hail Mary, got picked. And actually, when I saw that guy had some momentum coming out of the end zone.
I was looking at
and
that
from
too.
my view, I see 5 linemen and a quarterback, and I'm thinking, oh no, this would be an awful way to end it on a 100-yard return. They tackle him about the 30, but
great weekend.
It's fun.
Great weekend.
Yeah.
We got to go, but Jose Hernandez on the chat line wants to know. Just wants you to extrapolate real quick. Why might they lower the ranking, or why is the thought that they might?
Well, some wrote because it was a close call. There was another game. So in one ranking, I mentioned that Sac State was 2, Montana State was 3, and the other one it was vice versa.
Gotcha.
Montana State beat an undefeated Weber team that was ranked 5th.
Okay.
So maybe some will put it that way. They may not fall. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they're going to be 2, 3, or 4. They were 2 in one poll, 3 in the other.
Call them a shot. I think they'll be number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
Stingers up, baby. Ride the wave. Do whatever the phrase is. But super proud of them. Super proud of everybody at that program. And go Republic as well. And the Kings played twice. We'll take a break. When we come back, we got the best and worst of the weekend. And speaking of, when will the Kings get their first win? We're back in exactly 75 seconds.
Breaking news, the latest happenings with your favorite teams.
You ever wonder about what the heck all these kids are doing on the computers all the time?
Stay up to date with all of it by following us on Instagram and Twitter.
Excuse me, gentlemen, a little update for you.
At Sactown 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael, Dave, and listen, even though it may not feel like it sometimes, fall is officially here. The weather may be a little bit uncomfortable, too warm for me. 1 minute it's cool and raining. I love that. But the next day it's hot and sunny. What can make you comfortable inside, though, is knowing your AC and furnace will be working properly and efficiently for whatever temperature it is outside. Take advantage of American Energy's $49 AC or furnace 30-point tune-up today. Make sure you and your family are ready for the changing weather. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Yeah, we're a sports family. 2-a-day practices with muddy gear, driving in all kinds of weather to get to away games, and of course, the gravel parking lots. Oh, and did we mention kids? So you can imagine what our car looks like, except it doesn't. We're big fans of defying expectations. So we go to Quick Quack and shine like all our kids' trophies. Go for the win yourself and head to Quick Quack for a shine that lets you defy expectations.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Question 1.
All right, we're going to get into the weekend for the Kings specifically at 7:27. That's in just about 14 minutes. In the meantime, well, look who it is.
Hey.
It's Jay Mars, a year older. What?
Not a year wiser, though.
Well, not really. You know what? Every year he likes to take the Kings opening week off because not important. You know what? You didn't miss much.
Exactly. No, it's therapy.
Also, shouts to Rami and Chris Watkins. We call him Charles. For doing the post game. I've tuned into every Kings.
We call him Charles. Is my favorite thing.
Post game.
We.
They do. We do.
We.
Okay. The royal we.
Yes.
In the meantime, you're the royal Jay Mars.
Ha!
You're here with 3 for question 1.
I got 3 questions, so you're going to have to give 3 answers. Deal?
That's pressure.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with number 1. The Kings have started 0-3.
Yay.
When, in fact, will they pick up their first win, or will they?
They will not. You know, there is a poll question out. I'll let you know in the next segment. Actually, 2. One was over the weekend. If Keegan Murray's going to start, should Casey Okpala or Harrison Barnes go to the bench?
Okay.
We've got results. Also, I asked this question this morning. This is our poll question of the day. We're only 3 games into the season, but you got to bet money. Are Kings going to hit 500 this year? We're 3 games in.
Right now, they're trending to go 0-82. So,
just saying, they're 0-3. We're only 3 games in, and I'm ready to say right now, I would bet heavily they will not at any point hit 500. And I think the numbers support that. When will they get their first win? The first game they'll be favored, barring any crazy injuries or suspensions, but if things go chalk, will be in Orlando. I think that's November 7th. There's a shot, they'll be close in Charlotte when they go there, depending especially on if LaMelo Ball comes back. I think they're going to get their first win against Memphis. I think they're going to win their next game.
Couple of days of practice.
My last little bit of optimism that I have left right now before last little bit. They're probably going to get a random win between now and Orlando. It's just how it works.
That's the way the league works, right? You play 82, like to Jay's point. Yeah, they're on pace for 0-82. Well, we know they're going to win games. It's just, but when, how are they going to do it? How are they going to look? I think a couple days of not even necessarily practice. I think one of the issues to me that it looks like, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess, so far, but not even just the starting lineup, because that just seems odd, and Keegan played more minutes anyway the last 2 nights. The rotations don't seem certain.
No, they don't.
And I don't think it's been figured out. You would like it to be. It's not. So I think that needs to get a little more solidified, in my opinion. And I don't know that it does by Thursday, but maybe with 3 games of experience, looking at it and having a better idea. I think it's going to happen Thursday as well.
Okay. Thursday. Wow, we're both picking. I will be there.
You're going to be there?
I will be there.
Are you going to storm the court?
If they win, I'm running across the court. And I'm jumping into the arms of Eric Hasseltine, Memphis Grizzlies play-by-play voice.
Wait, are you ringing the bell?
I am not ringing the bell. Okay. No, but I will be there with Madhu. Maybe they'll let him ring the bell.
Oh, nice.
Number 2.
Question 2.
A doozy of a question, I say. Who is more likely to win a World Series first? The San Francisco Giants or new Texas Rangers manager Bruce Bochy?
Rando on Friday, wasn't that out of nowhere? I'm like, Bochy, wait, where's he going? Wait, the Rangers?
What was that? By the way, I forgot to mention the Aggies won over the weekend.
They did.
They're like 58 to something.
Yeah, crushed Northern Colorado.
Go Aggies. You can hear that right here on Sactown Sports.
For sure.
Marsh. Who is the better play-by-play voice, Scott Marsh or Jason Ross? Wow, that's our
Gary Gerald.
That's what?
That's the win.
That's always the correct answer. You know what? Let's look at the Texas Rangers real quick. Okay. So
you done?
Just wanted to look.
Yeah.
There's talent there.
Some.
They made some signings.
But it's not like Melvin going to the Padres.
No, it's not. I mean, I think my honest answer is neither.
Yeah. The Rangers have never won one, correct?
No, they have not.
So Boch is going to be the difference there?
Yeah. I think
he'll make him better.
He'll make him better. That was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
And the Giants, I mean, right now, just trying to look at them without even, we've said, hey, could Judge sign there? I don't know what their offseason's going to be.
Yeah.
But with the Dodgers and the Padres in their own division.
Yeah.
The Braves are still really young and talented. The Phillies here sneak out of this and get there. The Mets are going to spend a bunch of money. I think it's going to be a tough couple of years ahead for the Giants.
I would say the correct answer is the San Francisco Giants.
I guess.
Because that's a franchise.
Yeah.
And at some point, you got to think they'll win another World Series.
They're going to sign a judge.
Right. I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. But Bruce Bochy, I don't think my point is he won't win a World Series, I don't think, there.
Yeah, because we've never seen that franchise win one. No. They got there, but they've never won one.
Number 3.
Question 3.
What is your best and worst sports moments of the weekend?
I would say I'm going to give it to the Hornets, man.
All right.
Just a great win for the city, a great win for the franchise, the school, the program.
It's a franchise.
Yeah. It was just awesome. And an honorable mention to Republic. For advancing in the playoffs. And really, listen, they have not been the same. They've not looked great since losing in Orlando in that U.S. Open Cup final. And you could tell it crushed
They
them
put so
quite a
much
bit.
in that, right?
Exactly. So I'm gonna say that. Worst moment of the weekend. There's a few to choose from. I'm gonna say Jimmy Garoppolo being sacked for the safety. And that really just, listen, it was already 35-23, but then and then the Juju Smith-Schuster catch to make it 44-23. Like, when Jimmy got sacked, the air was already out of the building, but then it was just like, oh my God, we're watching a murdering here on our home. Like, it's not even, I don't even have the energy to be angry anymore. Now I'm just like, oh my God, this is demoralizing. They're taking their soul. They're putting the 49ers over their knee and like in a fight, you guys have all watched fights enough, UFC fights or whatever. In a UFC fight when like the other guy gets knocked out and in the second it takes for the ref to get to the fighter on top, he'll land like 3 punches to like
quick,
and it always gives you like a sick feeling like, God, dude, that's okay. Stop.
It's over.
That's how that's what the Niners were. They were knocked unconscious, like staring up at the sky.
And then 3 more punches
with the arm in the air. And then the Chiefs landed 3 more punches before the refs could push them off.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know, dude. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Best moment, sir, I think you got it, was the Hornets. That was just such a great night, great evening, national TV, great crowd, good comeback. Keep their record going. So that was it. Worst for me, I would say, would be, it wasn't shocking to me that the Yankees lost, to the Astros, but the fact that they got swept, and then just, I did get that feeling last night. I think Aaron Judge is going to be a Yankee, and I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of the team. And then the ground out to end it, which, I mean, it didn't matter that's how they lost. But the fact that he was up, it just gave me that feeling like, did I just watch his last at bat as a Yankee?
No.
I don't think so, but the possibility is there. Yeah. And that leads to what could be the worst moment of the weekend.
I can't imagine that. I mean,
you can't?
Okay. I can 100% imagine it. But the New York Yankees losing Aaron Judge,
right, would be massive. The other one too, I have to throw this out, was the 50-point second quarter yesterday, or the 89 points allowed by the Kings. And some of it I have to give to, like, Steph and Poole were making shots that I honestly think were unguardable.
Yeah.
That's some, not all 50. There were some major breakdowns.
I have thoughts.
And you just go, okay.
I have absolute thoughts.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. When we come back,
you're going to share those thoughts.
I'm going to share those thoughts. You'll share your thoughts. We'll look at the Kings weekend, and I'm going to tell you why they gave up 89.5, and I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter with Mike Brown. Had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I'll tell you. We'll do that next.
Oh, you got the answer.
Yeah, I got all the answers.
From the draft to free agency to the summer league.
To the games that matter the most.
It's good, and it's pandemonium at Golden One Center.
When it comes to the Kings, nobody has you covered like Sactown Sports, your local sports leader.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you a fan of Twin Peaks? Sign up for our e-club and stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Signing up is easy. Just visit twinpeaksrestaurant.com/peaks-club to get started today.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, and the primetime football giveaway, it's back. They're giving away a total of $500 for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, with plenty of well-lit parking and some of the best food in a friendly environment. For more information on tournaments and gaming, please log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. As always, 1-800 gambler.
Rich Eisen from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. A historic night potentially in the making in Foxborough when Bill Belichick can pass George Halas on the all-time coaching list by beating guess who? The Chicago Bears. Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call on air or on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone. Don't miss any of the action on Monday Night Football.
Get ready for the game with more details and preview at westwood1sports.com.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill in the morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
One pill, 24 hours, zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
O'Reilly! Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with Peak Long Life Universal Pre-Mixed Antifreeze and Coolant. Now just $3.99 after mail-in rebate. Limits apply. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
Sactown Sports headlines.
It was a rough Sunday for the Sacramento Kings, who visited the Warriors last night in San Francisco, falling to Golden State 125-130. De'Aaron Fox led the Kings in scoring with 26 points while also dishing 10 assists. But the real statistic was the Kings setting a Sacramento-era record by giving up 89 points in the first half. The Kings fall to 0-3 on the season. They had their chance at their first win Thursday night against the Grizzlies. Speaking of a lack of defense, the 49ers struggled yesterday in their loss to Kansas City 44-23. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes diced up the Niners defense for 423 yards and 3 touchdowns. New San Francisco 49er Christian McCaffrey rushed the ball 8 times for 38 yards and caught 2 passes for 24 yards. The Niners fall to 3-4 on the season and head to LA to visit the Rams this Sunday. The World Series is set after the Astros swept the Yankees following a 6-5 victory in the Bronx yesterday. They'll be taking on the Phillies, who took care of the Padres in 5 games.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Popped up. Shallow right. Segura going out. Castellanos coming on. Castellanos has it. And the Phillies have the National League Championship. They have beaten the Padres 4-3, and they celebrate on their home turf.
Game 1 is set for this Friday in Houston. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Stimulating conversation about kitchen gadgets and baseball cards.
I think that's really crazy interesting.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
Harrison Barnes with a rebound. Outlet. Stolen by Curry. Spots up for 3. Bring up another one for Steph Curry, who's 6 for 7 from downtown. He's got 28 first-half points.
What they have, 89 in the first half?
Yes, franchise record for most points allowed in a half.
Now, think about that. The Sacramento Kings set a franchise record for the most points they've allowed in a half, 89.
Yes. Yeah.
And you think about all the years the Kings have had terrible teams. Think about the time at, 40-4 against the Lakers?
Mm-hmm.
Like years ago. All the horrible defensive teams and all the horrible teams they've had. Last night, they gave up a franchise record. This is after, hiring a defensive coach, bringing in, we've Davion's second year, he'll help. Keegan, better defense, blah, blah, blah. The biggest worry, it's so tough when you're doing this because people don't want to wake up and feel depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of walk the line. 4-0 preseason. And I've learned through the years, it's like I have to temper what I say because it makes people miserable, and I don't want to do that. So you try to hint like, well, it's just preseason. Remember, they were 4-0 last year.
Right.
And then we talked about, okay, free throw shooting, and that's going to be a big thing. But the number one thing was, remember, they faced one big guy. It was Anthony Davis in the preseason. He had a double-double in like 8 minutes. Where's their defense going to come from? This is don't be fooled by the 89.8 points. You look at our defensive teams last year. I'm not going to look at this year because of 3 games, but the Celtics, defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart, plenty of other guys. Dallas Mavericks. They have Luka, who's a sieve, but they've surrounded him with guys that not only can defend but show effort. They have a wonderful team. Whereas the Celtics have the best individual defender, at least they did last year. You could argue the Mavs. They have, I think, the best team defense. Golden State. They're anchored by Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins is a very underrated defender, not so much anymore. But Miami, you got Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and a bunch of guys on that team that if you don't play defense, you're going to sit. You go down and down and down and down the line. You look at the Sacramento Kings. Now listen, there's one thing you don't ever want to do, and you never want to question a player's heart unless you know you're right. There's just lines you don't cross. And I'm going to tiptoe a line here, but it's not in the way it's generally taken, okay? The Kings are soft. And I don't mean soft like they're not men or they're not tough. I mean, they're just not graceful is not the word I'm looking for. They're not a hard-nosed team. That's not their identity. Their only identity is that they lose. But look at who's the enforcer on the team. Who's the guy last night? I think Kenny Thomas was talking about it after the game with Kyle Draper. Who's the guy that's going to get in someone's face and not hurt anybody? Who's gonna lay a hard foul out there when they're down 24? Who's the guy that's going to be vocal on the bench and call the players only meeting type of thing? Who are their defenders? Who's their stopper? There's no defensive identity. So you can bring Mike Brown in. That's awesome, but that's like taking an old beater car with an old beater engine and thinking if you paint it bright fire engine red, you're going to add 30 miles. There are things a coach can do. There are improvements coaches can do when it comes to system and effort. But at some point, you have to look at the roster and go, what? Sabonis going to step in and be a stopper? Right. Is Harrison Barnes going to be the guy that and we always sit here and go, well, they can't. We've seen flashes. Well, they can't. They have the capabilities. At some point, you look at Harrison Barnes and you look at pretty much every year in the league, he's a below-average defender. Sabonis is a below-average defender. Fox, who has been incredible this year, and I'm especially proud of him, active on the defensive end. You're seeing him pick up 90 feet more and more and just really trying to get in there. Even the shot where he jumped past Steph yesterday, and then he kind of went back and reached. And Steph nailed the three, but it's just you can tell he's engaged.
Yeah.
Kevin Huerter going to break it down? They're not a good defensive team because they're not tough. There's no toughness.
The one thing I find interesting so far, again, 3 games, too small of a sample size even to do stats, but if I'm going to go to some of them, the interesting thing is going into last night, so now it's only 2 games before last night. Kings were 15th defensively, which is where we would want them to live if they could. Even with last night, they dropped, I think, to 23rd. Ironically, they score 125 and put the Warriors even below them. So this is a championship team that's good, that points have gone up. That's not to defend the Kings. The one question I have, I'm not disagreeing with what you said as far as I also wonder, I know it's a very old school way to think, like, players have played in the 80s and 90s. Well, where's the hard foul? Who's going to foul? I mean, honestly, so if I'm in that game last night and the Kings were getting run and gave up 89 and I went over there and just floored Steph, like, does everybody rally around that?
Maybe.
I don't know the answer to that.
They might.
But
they might.
The other part is if you're Mike Brown, and if there's another reason other than this to start KZ Okpala, it's for his defense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. But if you're doing it, commit to it. Commit to it. Mm-hmm. He played him for the first 3 minutes, and I think this is factually right. Steph hadn't scored. He guarded Steph. In the first 3 minutes, how much did he play? 334.
334.
He didn't play again. Steph goes absolutely crazy in the second quarter. The reason you're playing him is to stop the opposing player's best score.
That's right.
Then keep playing him. I personally have no problem with him not getting a ton of minutes, but if you're going to commit to him to start, the reason you're doing it is for defensive impact. Why go away from that?
Steph Curry hit a 3 with 7:10 left.
That's his first points?
That's his first.
So he did not score with KZ Okpala. Again, I'm not saying KZ Okpala keeps him to 11 points, But that's why you started him, isn't it?
That's 100% correct, and it's an excellent point by you. Whether you want Keegan Murray to start, that's beside the point. You put KZ Okpala in, he played 3 minutes, for almost 4 minutes. Keegan Murray played a team-high 33. We'll get to that in a second.
But he started, if I'm not mistaken, on Lillard, on Paul George, and on Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And barely plays.
And your point about Steph Curry, in a game in which they gave up a team record, 89 points in the first half, the only reason you have KZ, but the only reason he's on the team is his defense.
That's it.
And guess what? His job was to guard Steph Curry. Well, Steph Curry didn't score.
It was very small sample size, but he didn't.
And he finished with 33.
And he had 25 at half.
Right.
He was killing the Kings by himself. And even when it's starting to get a little out of hand, you're not going to get a ton of offense from KZ Okpala. But can he stop some of that? Can he stop some of the crazy run that Steph is on? And then the other thing, I honestly do feel like they are making an attempt to defend better.
Yes.
They can't figure out how to do it without fouling.
Yes.
And then when they stop fouling, they stop defending. So they've got to find that pairing of, okay, look, we're trying to be a little more physical, whistle.
Right.
And then you're sending a great free throw shooting team to the line, and you're just getting free points, and you're just racking up fouls.
Well, and here's the thing. In the first 2 games, too, all we talked about is the Kings free throw shooting.
Yeah, that was better last night.
They outshot the Warriors from the line. The Warriors, who have the top 2 free throw shooters in the league.
Missed 2 at one point. Late, they missed a couple. They're leaving this game open.
Yes. Poole was, 3 of 5. Let's see. Steph Curry makes everything. But the point of the matter is, all we did was look at free throw shooting. The Warriors were 72%. The Kings shot 80%. Now, here's the problem. They shot 25% from behind the arc. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah, the most consistent thing they've had through 3 games has been De'Aaron Fox. I think De'Aaron's negative has been his turnovers. His positive has been everything else. He's been terrific. He's gotten to the paint. Actually, going into last night, again, 2 games, he was number 2 in the league in scoring.
Yeah.
It actually went down because of his 25 and 10.
I know, right?
But he was great, and he's been really good. I think Sabonis needs to lift his level of play. Keegan, he's great. He just fits in. He's going to be a really good player, and we were saying how quickly he is already the 3rd best player. He
might be the second.
He might be moving his way on up.
Well, to your point on De'Aaron Fox, he's doing everything he didn't do at the beginning of last year. He's coming out like a cannon, which is what we wanted. 31, almost 32 points a game on 60% shooting, 59.4, 45% from behind the arc, 7 assists, just under 6 boards, a little over a steal a game. The turnovers aren't where you want it to be. The free throw shooting isn't what you want it to be. But I cannot find fault with there's some situational issues I can find fault with them late in the fourth quarter yesterday. I would have let maybe a little less hero ball there, but you're also talking about the best player on the team. I can completely forget. I mean, at that point, I'm like super nitpicky.
Yeah.
I also, and this isn't on you, this isn't about what you said about Sabonis, because I think everything you said is dead on. But I'm not enjoying. I get it. Oh, they're 0-3. I'm really not. I'm kind of sitting back and watching. There is a large contingent of Kings fans. Like Sabonis suck. He's washed. Earl's on the chat right now, for example, saying he and Rashawn Holmes are basically. People need to not. Guys, don't sleep on Domantas Sabonis. Is still, until Fox does it for a full season, the best player on the team. Domantas Sabonis is still a top 25, top 30 player. Now, if he continues down this road, we can have a conversation about that. But for example, last night, what did Sabonis have? 19 and 14 with 4 assists in 22 minutes. He didn't play the end of the 3rd or the 4th. And I get it. Mike Brown had you're pulling your guys because it's a blowout. And then the guys on the bench end up coming in and kicking butt, and you don't want to screw with it. That's fine. And don't give me eye test either. You're talking about a guy, not just a 2-time All-Star thing, but who's 25, 26 years old and still had a great year statistically last year. So Domantas Sabonis is going to be fine. He's not the issue unless you want to talk about the defense. But again, you don't buy a bunny to meow. And that's what they did with Sabonis. He's not a defender.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
So, but all the things you can point out, get off of Domantas Sabonis. And I think Davion Mitchell might be hurt. We got to talk about that later. Something's not right with Davion Mitchell. Okay. We'll take a break. When we come back, Sactown Sports beat writer Frankie Cartoscelli will join us. We'll have those poll question answers as well for you next.
Sactown Sports 1140 is broadcasting live on YouTube.
To me, it's a must-watch.
Check out the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and the Cattles and Rami Show.
Plus, get exclusive content.
Search Sactown Sports 1140 on YouTube.
Hey there, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the things that they can provide, really home services, roofing, like they took care of us, as, of course, they have solar as well. So many different things that they provide, and we had a lot of wind over the weekend. That can be a little nerve-wracking. Well, we're in such good position now that we've got our brand new roof, courtesy of ACR Solar and Roofing, and with the season changing, winter coming up soon, we're not going to have to worry about any potential leaks with our old roof or just weather situations that make everybody a little bit more stressful. We're in great shape thanks to the great folks at ACR Solar. So what they did for us after we met with multiple roofing companies, we knew after talking with Joe Peterson, the roofing expert, that we were in good hands. Joe told us everything that was going to happen. He was hands-on, great communication, and that's the best part, knowing, hey, what's going to happen today, tomorrow, the next day, and it always fell in line. And then now with the new results and the new roof, we feel absolutely great. The house looks great. Curb appeal is awesome. Peace of mind is there. And we've got a roof that's going to last us a long, long time. If you're in that position, it's not a comfortable spot to be in, but then at the end result, you'll feel what I'm talking about, that great peace of mind and that comfort knowing you're in great position. Check out acrsolar.com.
Two iconic legends performing on the same stage. Join comedic geniuses Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle performing live together at the Golden One Center on December 12th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Grab your tickets today.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens Find Rx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. When you need to talk Medicare, Walgreens is here. Start shopping today at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Cut him off. Stay in front of him. Okay, take a break. Sacramento, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking whatever happened to the off season. Seems there's never any downtime. Now, I'm not complaining, but it means that we've got to be at our best every day. No excuses allowed. That includes pain in the feet, legs, hips, and back. Fortunately, thanks to the Good Feet 3-step arch support system, you no longer need to be sidelined with foot-related pain. For over 25 years, Good Feet arch supports have been designed to comfortably put all four arches of the foot and whole body in its more ideal pain-free position. Good Feet makes over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities of arch supports. And to make sure you get just the right pair, a Good Feet arch support specialist will give you a free personalized fitting and test walk. Do your best every day with the pain-free comfort, balance, and support of Good Feet arch support. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, and Modesto, online at goodfeet.com.
Join Sactown Sports at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge at Twin Peaks for Chicago and New England. You could win tickets to see Black Adam at the Esquire IMAX and a shot at the $50,000 Vince's football toss at the Hard Rock come season's end.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
Food is late again.
You should have ordered through EasyCater. Professionally delivered right on time.
EasyCater, huh? Have a pen?
No, I don't have a pen. Does anyone have a pen?
Nah, I'll remember.
Why don't all companies order through EasyCater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. That's our thing.
At Progressive, you can get 24/7 protection, even if you break the space-time continuum.
We did it. We time traveled to yesterday.
Wait, Progressive covers us 24/7, but we just created an 8-day week, and it's 24/7 coverage, not 24/8. We gotta go back.
Are you joking right now?
Shh, I'm calling them. Hi, I have a question about time travel.
Progressive offers more than a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, which literally means anytime. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Text or call the show at 916-339-1140. On Sactown Sports 1140.
Let's look at some Poll numbers. We get old Franklin Delano Cartoscelli on the phone. Will the Kings get to 500 at any point this season?
It's an interesting one.
500 votes in. Been up for just under an hour. 51% say they will not.
I would have thought that would have been higher.
Same here. That actually really surprises me that that's not a higher on the no. Not for any reason other than
they're already in
They're already in 0-3,
Yeah.
and likely 10 games from now will be even further below. The second poll question put out a couple days ago. Keegan Murray should start. Then who should go to the bench?
Okay.
And the choices were KZ Okpala and Harrison Barnes. 1,600 votes. 58% say Harrison Barnes. Which I got to tip my hat to Kings fans there. I don't know that that's the right answer, but that's an incredibly educated answer. May not be the right decision, but generally because Okpala is the new guy who's not flat, he doesn't score, he doesn't whatever. People seen Harrison Barnes have great games. I actually thought that Okpala would win/lose by a landslide, but that's Kings fans understanding the team and thinking, well, they need defense more than they need scoring. Again, I don't know if it's the right answer. I do know this. Harrison Barnes has been terrible. He's been terrible.
Actual
7 points, 37% shooting. He has yet to make a three-pointer.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
He has not made a three.
Didn't realize that.
He's averaging 1.7 attempts a game, which would be by far a career low. Yeah. So, anyways.
Okay.
Love Harrison Barnes, a person. So far, the player this year has been right now joining us. It's Sactown Sports' beat writer for the Sacramento Kings, as well as so many other things. The one, the only, Frankie Cartoscelli. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, guys. Jason, are you hanging in there after the Yankees lost, my friend?
Wow, Frankie, I recorded the game.
Wow.
Is it over?
Sorry to spoil it for you, man. I'm sorry
Wow.
to spoil it.
I was envisioning a Red Sox comeback, so I guess No, I'm good. All good. Just got to keep Judge. That's all.
Okay, hang in there. We'll see.
Yeah, my heart bleeds for both of you.
Yeah, sure it does.
Well, Yankee fans have at least seen a couple of great things in their lifetimes. There are, let's just be honest, literally people that can legally go to bars that have absolutely no memory of the Sacramento Kings being in the playoffs.
True.
They have no memory. They were alive, but that's not what matters. Me in diapers doesn't mean you're experiencing it. They've just never experienced it. So, Frankie, 0-3. We asked this question earlier in 3 for Madness. When are the Kings getting their first win? You got to pick a game. When do you think that happens?
I thought about this last night, and obviously, when the schedule came out, I looked at it and thought, maybe a 2-8 start. But they do go on the road coming up. I mean, you could make a case for Miami. They do play well historically at home against Miami. I'm not sure why. In my brain, it sticks out. They have always played well against Miami. That first game that Harrison Barnes played in Sacramento sticks out. But obviously, Charlotte is kind of down a man right now. They're playing decent basketball, but you have Charlotte and Orlando on the road. Again, Orlando, that's going to be the Paolo Keegan Murray matchup. That's the 8th of November. There's a couple of games coming up, but there's really no way to slice it other than it's going to be a tough start for them. And I think, I'm not sure if you guys said it or I'm sure you did, but I think everyone's kind of expected that the schedule to kind of open up at the end of November into early December. But, things could really get ugly by then. But it's basketball. You guys know this. Things could happen at any given night. But, last night we almost saw a miracle comeback. It was against the end of the bench for the Warriors, but anything can happen. So I'll say hopefully in the next couple of days here they can squeak one out, but you never know.
Frankie, one thing Dave and I were talking about too is Coach Brown's seemingly to me still trying to figure out what he's got, what his rotations are. We've talked about starters before, and KZ Okpala playing just 3 minutes yesterday as a starter on Curry, then doesn't play again. But it just seems like even throughout the game he's still searching. And when you're 0-3, it makes sense. But at what point also do you think they kind of get into more of a predictable groove on maybe the 8 or 9 that are going to play?
Pretty soon. Last night was the first time Mike Brown's kind of conceded to the fact that there could be a change in the starting lineup pretty soon. When he was asked about the possibility that Keegan Murray becomes a starter, he, for the first time, said, yeah, I think that's something we're going to probably do pretty soon. And especially when you look at some different lineups like Harrison Barnes, you guys talked about last segment, he's been probably the most disappointing member of the Kings so far. He does not look like himself. Mike Brown did say last night he's going to stick with Harrison Barnes. He's earned that right. He's been a good professional for over a decade now. And that's true. Harrison's been a good King since he came here. He really hasn't had a stretch of games quite like this before. I don't think any of us expected him to come into the season and not hit a 3 over 3 games when he was the Kings' best 3-point shooter after the Halliburton trade. So, then adding in the fact that he's an 80% free throw shooter for his career, he's shooting 50%. It's just uncharacteristic, but you could see down the stretch if he still is struggling. Like you mentioned, KZ Okpala could come in and defend some of the opposing scorers, like we saw last night early. The Kings had to pull him to get Keegan Murray in the game. That's something that I stand by, because I think the Kings need to get Keegan Murray in the game, but maybe Harrison Barnes is the player they take out instead next time. It's going to be interesting to see how they go into those issues, but 3 games and there's plenty of season to go. But yeah, there's been a couple glaring issues.
37% for Harrison Barnes, which is terrible, but it's not as bad as Malik Monk and Davion Mitchell. Monk shooting 31%, Mitchell shooting 30%. That's 3 guys getting pretty decent rotational minutes that, well, are shooting 30 to 36%. That's not great. Who to you, because I know on our chat line right now, I can see all the people picking who they think the scapegoat is. Frankie, who's the actual scapegoat? You got to pin one player that's got to turn it around. Who is that?
I guess I'll kind of go to Malik Monk, because the second unit has I think a lot of fans thought the second unit was kind of a strength coming into the season, and Malik Monk was a huge part of that. The fact that the Kings had 2 guards, Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk, who were starting caliber, and that was the debate coming into the season, Malik Monk or Kevin Huerter, and that was, a lot of people were pretty torn on that. I think Malik Monk last night, it was nice to see him knock down 4 threes. I mean, he didn't have a great night from the field. He was still 5 of 16, but the Kings need an anchor in that second unit, and if Keegan Murray's not going to be there, if he's going to move in the starting lineup, and I know that Mike Brown's going to keep at least 1 or 2 starters on the floor at all times, that's going to be a goal of his, but they need somebody from that second unit to kind of be an anchor. And Malik Monk sticks out to me because he is a player who came off a great season in Los Angeles. He's someone who has the potential to have those kind of, not to speak Buddy Hield's name out on this fine morning, but he has the capability to have those kind of hot games where you kind of see him go for 20, 24 points when he gets hot from behind the arc. So having an anchor in the second unit that can just be a leader out there on the floor, be a focal point of the offense. And to me right now, it's Malik Monk, because Davion Mitchell's shots are not falling. Rashawn Holmes finally had a good game last night after, honestly, a rough 6-7 months.
Yeah.
So it's going to take someone in that second unit to step up, and to me, that's got to be Malik Monk.
Frankie, how did the Kings find a way to get what they're getting from De'Aaron right now and turn that into wins? Because I think we've seen many times over De'Aaron's career, he can have great nights, and it over time it doesn't translate into enough W's. How do they find that pairing to go the right way?
That's been the problem. De'Aaron's been a guy who's put up big numbers. It's kind of reminiscent to when the Kings had DeMarcus Cousins. People would always say, "Oh, well, that's great. He's scoring 35 and grabbing 17 rebounds." But what are you doing for me? Are you getting wins? So that's not happening right now. And I hate to say, everybody else has to step it up and De'Aaron has to do nothing. That's not true. I mean, De'Aaron has to cut down on his turnovers. But it is true that everybody else around him hasn't really been consistent. I mean, Kevin Huerter has had a great start to the season. Last night, he kind of had a rough game, but Domantas Sabonis has had a very bad first 2 games of the season that you could make an argument if he even played half to his capability in the opener, the Kings would have won that game easily. The second game as well. And Harrison Barnes, like we talked about, it's not Harrison Barnes. So I think in order for De'Aaron Fox to not have these games wasted on a nightly basis, you have to have those guys step it up. And I think we could see, like I said, a different lineup, different rotations, just different kind of tweaks to Mike Brown's rotation. Nothing drastic, but we could see some different situations here. And I don't think Mike Brown enjoys losing basketball games. He's not going to stand by idly and let these performances by De'Aaron Fox go to waste either. So it's going to take the other guys to step up and De'Aaron to continue to play good defense, which has been impressing a lot of people around the media row. The fact that De'Aaron looks engaged on the defensive end. I think he's top 3 in the NBA in deflections right now, which is something that was never the case for his game. So it's going to take a little more from everybody else.
30 seconds, Frankie. Let me ask you this. Point to me one thing Mike Brown has done well so far as head coach that stands out.
I mean, make the media laugh, put smiles on people's faces. I mean, from a non-basketball standpoint,
Sure.
I mean, the guy comes in the presser last night eating a cookie from the Warriors' kitchen. But no, I just think the good vibes that Mike Brown brings, it's contagious to be around him, and I think that it's going to show on the basketball floor pretty soon here.
Check out the Sactown Sports website, Instagram, all the socials, everything else. Frankie and Chris and so many others doing a fantastic job. There is no better Kings coverage in the city than right here at Sactown Sports. Appreciate you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
All right, you too. Take care. Why did
you hung up on yourself?
I literally hung up on myself. I don't think I've ever done that before.
Yeah.
I turned my mic off instead of hanging up on Frankie. We'll take a break when we come back. It was a rough day for the Niners. Let's get the scoop from the Athletics' Matt Barrows next.
Live and past broadcasts of the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross and Cattles and Rami.
Interviews, podcasts, and more.
They all live on the Sactown Sports 1140 app. Download the app now in the App Store and Google Play.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by RC Willey Home Furnishings.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Monday. You're out that door to a cooler start, thanks in part to less wind and clear skies. We'll enjoy mainly sunny skies for the afternoon, less wind with highs today in the mid-70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
You already know RC Willey has a vast selection of home furnishings, but did you know they also have an outlet inside the store with clearance savings on closeouts, one-of-a-kind, and discontinued items? RC Willey, located in Rockland and South Sacramento.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The Gainswave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at Gainswave can do for you. Visit GainswaveCalgary.ca.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, and the primetime football giveaway, it's back. They're giving away a total of $500 for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento, with plenty of well-lit parking and some of the best food in a friendly environment. For more information on tournaments and gaming, please log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. As always, 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football. NFL Week 7 wraps up with a battle of young quarterbacks when Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears visit the New England Patriots. The Pats are on a 2-game win streak with rookie quarterback Bailey Zappi filling in for Mac Jones. Now Jones prepares to come back. Can they keep the trend going? Find out on Monday Night Football.
Get ready for the game with more details and preview at WestwoodOneSports.com.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back. If your first bet doesn't win, just sign up with the promo code WIN. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. So sign up today with promo code WIN for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Must be present in state where lawful to wager. 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit fanduel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. Arizona 1-800-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Indiana, Kansas 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghhelp.com. Louisiana 1-877-770-STOP. New York 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. Wyoming, West Virginia 1-800-522-4700 or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net.
Check out nationally ranked Sacramento State football this Saturday night versus Idaho. 6 p.m. kickoff at Hornet Stadium. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
The flagship.
Ball game. Sacramento wins.
KHTK AM and HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
It was a rough Sunday for the Sacramento Kings, who visited the Warriors last night in San Francisco, falling to Golden State 125-130. De'Aaron Fox led the Kings in scoring with 26 points while also dishing 10 assists. But the real statistic was the Kings setting a Sacramento-era record by giving up 89 points in the first half. The Kings fall to 0-3 on the season. They had their chance at their first win Thursday night against the Grizzlies. Speaking of a lack of defense, the 49ers struggled yesterday in their loss to Kansas City 44-23. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes diced up the Niners defense for 423 yards and 3 touchdowns. New San Francisco 49er Christian McCaffrey rushed the ball 8 times for 38 yards and caught 2 passes for 24 yards. The Niners fall to 3-4 on the season and head to LA to visit the Rams this Sunday. The World Series is set after the Astros swept the Yankees following a 6-5 victory in the Bronx yesterday. They'll be taking on the Phillies, who took care of the Padres in 5 games.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Popped up. Shallow right. Segura going out. Castellanos coming on. Castellanos does it. And the Phillies have the National League Championship. They have beaten the Padres 4-3, and they celebrate on their home turf.
Game 1 is set for this Friday in Houston. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone. When he's not on the microphone, he's playing a song. And when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Text or call the show at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we go from talking about the Kings to
even better news.
Yeah, and we got a guest, Jason.
Yeah, we do, and all guests are coming to you from Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
From The Athletic, get the subscription, $19.99, I think, for the entire year's the special they have going right now. It's a wonderful app, a wonderful place to get all of your sports, whether it's football and the Niners specifically, which is anchored by Matt Barrows, or Kings, or Raiders, or just in general. It's a wonderful place to work from all I hear. Joining us right now, one of their employees, Mr. Matthew Barrows. Good morning.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a Jim Harbaugh phrase.
Yeah, the time of his life.
He would always say, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
He doubled down on it.
He was very complimentary of his time with the 49ers when he visited over the weekend.
Yes, and he was in charge of the foghorn on Sunday, and he had a good time blasting that thing before the game.
I was watching the game as you were, Matt, and it probably happened before this. This is the analogy I used, and I don't know if you're much of a boxing or really more accurately a mixed martial arts fan, but in some fights, and I love MMA, but in some fights, a fighter will get knocked down and they'll be unconscious, but before the ref can get to the offending fighter, that person will land like 2 or 3 punches to the unconscious fighter, and it always gives me a queasy feeling like, okay, you won, that's enough. Now this is a little gross. When Jimmy got sacked in the end zone yesterday, I felt like the Chiefs were beating down on an already unconscious 49er team. It's like they didn't just beat them. They took their soul, in your opinion. How much of that is the Chiefs are better? How much of that can be excused by injuries?
Yeah, it's all of the above, and you're right. First of all, I don't like that aspect of MMA either.
Yeah.
It ceases to be sport after that, and it's just kind of beating a piece of meat.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's one of these combo deals. But the bottom line is that both of these teams were coming off a loss. And that's usually a really big, it focuses teams. And good teams coming off of losses really make their next opponent pay for it. And the Chiefs did it, and the 49ers didn't. And that's the bottom line. I mean, one of these teams right now is a championship-level team. The other is kind of finding its way in the wilderness. And I think we all know which one I'm talking about here. And I'm not saying that the 49ers can't do it. I mean, you can see the path for them to have, a run to the playoffs. And it starts with a win Sunday in Los Angeles. But, yeah, I mean, what struck me was, we've all heard a million times the announcers, national writers, faces on TV say what a great play caller, what a great schemer Andy Reid is. And wow, he was just handing the 49ers their you-know-whats in this game. On these TDs, they were just so easy. That's what struck me, is that the big plays that the Chiefs made, whether it was the third down conversions or the touchdowns, they did it with ease. And they had a helmet on every 49ers defender. The defense was going the wrong way. They were just out-schemed in this game. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's more scheme, if that's the way you're going, Matt, because, the Niners have had injuries this year, but they did get reinforcements back. It was great to have Trent Williams back, great to have Bosa back, two of your best players, Ward, playing with the cast, but he's back. The fact that they go for 30 points in the second half, make it look easy, that to me was the biggest stunner, that a great offense versus a great defense. Maybe you take away the great offense, but in the end, the great offense, here's Mahomes going over 400, Kelsey getting what he wants, Schuster getting what he wants, Valdez. The way the Chiefs exposed the Niners defense, which I didn't think would get exposed much this year, was really surprising to me.
Yeah, and you can say, that there were a bunch of guys on the injury report heading into the game, either guys that were coming off an injury and didn't practice the full week, and to a person, each of those guys struggled, whether it was Mike McGlinchey, Jimmy Ward, looked like there was some rust there. Charvarius Ward, I didn't think that he was 100%, and he came off the field and this, that, and the other. So there was that, and then there was the fact that they had just spent 2 weeks on the East Coast, and they are reliably terrible in the first game back from those. Remember, last year it was Green Bay. They couldn't get going against the Packers. The year before that, it was, a bad Carson Wentz-led Eagles team. They couldn't get going there. Remember, in 2019, they were unstoppable. They come back from their East Coast trip, and they get surprised by the Falcons and lose that game. So, I think there has to be something to be said about that. It just happens every game. I don't know whether it's energy or just the human body just needs a week or two to recover from that. But as Jason noted, in the second half, they just had nothing. They came out well. They came out with a lot of energy. Took a 10-0 lead. I think the McCaffrey signing, I think Jim Harbaugh being in the building, I think it was a really great crowd. I think all of that lifted them. They just had no staying power with that, and it vanished by the second half.
Matt Barrows of The Athletic joining us. Niners lose to the Chiefs 44-23. 8 attempts, 38 yards, just under 5 for the average. And Christian McCaffrey had another 2 catches for 24 yards. He gotten off the plane 5 minutes prior. That Stanford education he used to learn a few plays, I'm sure. In your opinion, how much do you think they will really ramp him up before the next game, and how is it going to be, open up the hose full bore?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was impressed by how much it went from there's no way this guy plays to okay, maybe he plays a half dozen snaps, and then it was 22, and they were in all sorts of scenarios. I mean, he was deep in the backfield. He lined up at slot. He did a wheel route. It wasn't the full gamut of the playbook, but as you noted, he came in on Friday. He didn't even really take part in the practice. He came out there dressed, showed up midway through the practice, introduced himself, and was an observer. So it was impressive. So if you apply that to a full week, I think he's going to have the full thing under his belt. And that was the best storyline of all for the 49ers, easily. It was how good he looked, how much he was able to learn, and you can just kind of see him fitting into this offense very well. So I think, that, like I said, there's definitely a pathway to the playoffs, and it begins with the fact that the NFC is all kind of glommed together. The next step is that they play the Rams, which is their get-right team, and then they have the bye. So if they can get to 4-4, go to the bye, and then I think they would have this feeling that, okay, Elijah Mitchell's coming back. We're going to get Azeez Al-Shaair back, a few weeks after that. Jason Verrett might come back at that point. There would be reinforcements. There would be, like I said, a clear vision in how they do it. Now, whether they can or not is anyone's guess, but I think it's there for the taking if they can get their you-know-what together.
Yeah, it feels like this Rams game is that swing game. I remember last year when they had the home loss to Arizona, and then the season just kind of turned around from there. The part of the Rams that intrigues me too, Matt, about this week's game, obviously, is how well the Niners have played them over recent memory, and the fact that they did get McCaffrey over the Rams. The Rams have been able to beat the Niners as far as getting players, where the Niners have been able to beat the Rams as far as on the field. So the fact that the Niners got someone that the Rams didn't, I think just adds a little bit more to this weekend's game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another storyline, and John Lynch was very upfront about that. Is that they went into Carolina, beat the Panthers soundly, and it led to the firing of Matt Rule, the head coach. And at that point, everybody knew that there would be a fire sale. So John Lynch was the first GM to start asking questions about Christian McCaffrey. He really wanted to get that deal done very quickly because he knew that the Rams' MO was to kind of come in late and come in strong. And to his credit, Scott Fitterer, the Carolina GM, knew that as well. So he kind of kept the talks going until that point, and lo and behold, the Rams did exactly that. They came in late. They came in strong. The 49ers just had a little bit more ammo there. But you're right. I mean, they really wanted McCaffrey too, and you can see why. Cam Akers is on the outs there. That's not working out. He's probably going to be traded or something, but that's not working. Darrell Henderson is their other running back. He's averaging, I don't know, something like 3.8 yards a carry. So they could have used that same kind of shot to the arm that the 49ers are expecting with Christian McCaffrey.
A lot to be discussed this week with the 49ers. You can check all that out with Matt Barrows at The Athletic. Get that subscription, just $19.99 for a year. That's the special going on right now, last I checked, and so much more sports coverage as well. Matt, we always appreciate you each and every week. Thank you, and we'll talk to you next Monday.
All right, sounds good, guys. Have a good week.
You too. Take care. And the Niners, well, they're just going into L.A. I know they own the Rams, but
it feels like a really big swing game. You get it. I do think they'll feel good. Because I thought McCaffrey looked great. And you're like, you can see the potential there. I think their defense will get better as the year goes along with health. But if it goes the other way, and the Rams also are in kind of that spot, like, hey, if we get right, if we beat the Niners, it's a team that's given us troubles, and it's a big swing game.
You remember when they beat the Rams last time, 24-9, they were 1-2. Then they beat the Rams. And they beat the Panthers. Like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Well, here they got the Rams and then the Chargers, which isn't a giveaway. So, all right, we'll take a break. Listen, speaking of the Niners and the Rams, the NFC West is just as weird as the NFC East this year. But who is the best team? And could the Super Bowl be moving from Arizona this year? We'll fill you in next.
Kings insiders Frankie Cartoscelli and Chris Watkins give you all things Kings on the return of the Roar podcast.
With these two sitting next to me now, certainly feel comforted.
You can sign up for free at SactownSports.com.
Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. We make buying a new Honda easy and stress-free. Pre-order online or in person today. We'll be there to help you every step of the way. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Text or call the show at 916-339-1140 on Sactown Sports 1140.
Jay, you're good at this. I find myself in a weird spot. We'll get to the NFC West here in a second. I've had my
lubrication
times where I've been critical of De'Aaron Fox's play, and then everybody yells at me.
Mm-hmm.
Weird breaking news this season so far. I don't find myself continually defending De'Aaron Fox to people
because he's played well.
Yeah,
shooting 45% from three.
Yeah,
over 50% from the field.
Was he fifth in the league in scoring, something like that? Free
throw percentage, leaves a lot to be desired. But so does the rest of the team.
Turnovers and free throw percentage, but my goodness gracious! So now it's the De'Aaron Fox is empty calories. He's James Harden light. He can't win with De'Aaron. But here, somebody just asked a question. I'm honestly thinking. It said, has any team ever tried to build around a guy this long?
Ooh, call on me.
And not made the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Kings have.
I mean, other than the Kings. Like, I'm trying to think of an example.
DeMarcus Cousins.
No. But well, okay. Yes. I think the answer I'm looking for is a team that is built around a player for 6 years or longer and not made the playoffs, that then ended up making the playoffs with that player. Like Devin Booker, I don't know how many years it was for him, but that's the only one that comes to mind with me. Maybe not 6 years, maybe 4 or 5, but
yeah, it was a while for Book.
I want to say it was like 4 or 5 years for Booker.
And they had a Chris Paul trade that's really and the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the Kings are the number 2 overall pick in that same draft, but
okay.
I just find the empty calories thing just to be hilarious.
We throw that around,
but again, it doesn't put in the proper context. And I said this in the chat.
Carl Anthony Towns. Sorry.
Carl Anthony Towns is another good one. But again, there was a Jimmy Butler trade that happened in there that helped propel that and other things. Anyways, empty calorie things is fine.
Yeah.
But, and I say this again, if you're putting empty calories into a gut that's already 93% body fat, the argument is void. He could be great calories. Sure. It wouldn't matter. Your same argument is everyone likes to do the Fox Halliburton comparison. The Pacers are 1-2 and they stink. Is all Tyrese Halliburton, who's been playing great?
Right.
These just empty stats, right?
Right. Yeah, you got to say the same thing there.
The tenure doesn't matter when you're talking about empty stats is my point. They're not mutually exclusive.
I would just ask somebody, hey, you know what? 0-3, you want to criticize De'Aaron Fox? Draw me a line from De'Aaron Fox to us losing.
There's none.
There isn't one.
It's everything else around him, which, again, you can make the same argument about DeMarcus Cousins during his tenure here. You can make that around De'Aaron Fox. I mean, again, what have they really put around him?
Right. That's the problem. You've got Harrison Barnes has been horrible. Davion Mitchell has been horrible. Malik Monk has been horrible. Domantas Sabonis has I think
he's underperformed.
Yeah.
Their best players have been Fox, Herter, and Murray right now.
Yes.
And 2 of those guys didn't even play on the team last year.
No, and one of them missed the first game and then play. That's the other thing with Mike Brown. Murray doesn't start. Here's the
now.
Yeah. So KZ Okpala starts on Steph Curry. He plays 4 minutes. In those 4 minutes, Steph Curry doesn't score. They take Okpala out, And Steph Curry ends up with 28 at the half and 30-something for the game. So Paula did his job, but he got removed. For Keegan Murray, who's playing only a second game in his career, it's his first ever back-to-back. He's coming off of COVID or whatever the protocol thing he was, whatever. And he plays a game-high 33 minutes.
Right.
If I have a criticism of Mike Brown so far this season, because he's now 2-1 on challenges.
Yeah, after losing the first one.
And they were both, I believe, I know last night's was, and I believe the Clippers one was also the fourth quarter. If it wasn't the fourth, it was the third. If I have a criticism, his rotations they're a little weird right now, but that's right now, early on, he gets a pass.
I just would have thought it would have been a little bit more sorted out by now, but it is not.
No, it is not. And neither is the NFC West. Hey, now. Let me pay off what I said at the end about the Super Bowl in Arizona. Now,
what's going on there?
We do all we can to avoid politics on the program, and I can feel y'all shoulders tightening up here. Let me be clear. This has to cross. So the leading candidate for governor in Arizona, Carrie Lake, and she's leading by, depending on the poll you look at, 2 to 5%, whatever. She's the favorite right now. She said on a show, I don't even know where it was, but it was a video clip of her from yesterday, and she is talking about the immigration issue in Arizona, and she wants to close borders and, laying out her case, but it was in response to something about, with the Super Bowl here in the NFL, and she goes, I'm not going to take my marching orders from the NFL. I'm going to take my marching orders from Arizona citizens, and they can deal with it. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I'm paraphrasing here. If they need to take the Super Bowl somewhere else, then they got to take the Super Bowl. I don't care. I'm not catering to the NFL. That's worth monitoring that situation. Midterm elections are in just under 2 weeks. And if she is the presumptive winner of the gubernatorial race there, that could end up being a showdown between the NFL and the new governor of Arizona. And that could eventually relocate the Super Bowl. So it's worth monitoring. Just want to put it on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Week 7, I remember telling you as the season, right before the season started, Jason, I want to say it was like around late August. And we were talking about how the season would open up. And I don't remember a lot of what I said, but I know one of the things I said is right around week 6 to week 8, the Seahawks will be in first place. Led by,
we can
remember
find that.
Yeah, we can pull the receipt. This is what we were talking about earlier. Nobody knows anything. Who had Geno Smith and the Seahawks? Rookie running back showing up, and Lockett and Metcalf, they lost. Russell Wilson is terrible in Denver. And Geno Smith, let's be real clear about Geno Smith, because he's a feel-good story. He's one of my favorite and a lot of people's favorite stories of this season. I love reclamation stories. Geno Smith was the Mark Sanchez of insert the blanks. He was a punchline. Coming into this year.
Yeah.
And he has absolutely turned himself around. To me, Pete Carroll's a coach of the year right now. And with apologies to Brian Daboll, probably. But actually, I think the Giants are a better team than the Seahawks.
Yeah. Well, let's remember their offseason, too. Everything was, are they going to get Baker Mayfield? They've got to get Jimmy G. Are the Niners really going to move him to in division to Seattle to help them out? Because it's Drew Lock or Geno Smith. It's probably going to be Drew Lock, though, right?
Yes.
And then he has a situation where he has to miss a preseason game. Geno does a good job there. And then they keep him in, and he goes off in the Russell Wilson game to open it up, and then he's just been some stellar since. So the division hasn't played out the way it is. I would still be strongly encouraged if I'm the 49ers at this moment.
Yeah.
Because until yesterday, really the last 2 weeks, let's say, because I think 2 weeks ago we could explain the Niners' poor defense against Atlanta a lot more on the injuries.
Yeah.
Yesterday they had more guys back. Matt just explained a lot of those guys that were back still looked like they were injured, but they played a great offense, but got worked. I think the defense still has a chance to be really, really good. And the offense showed us yesterday with McCaffrey what they're capable of. But these are all things that are potential. You've got to reach it. If they reach their potential, the Niners will be fine.
10 games left in the season. Who's gonna have the best record over the next 10 games in the NFC West?
Yeah, I like the Niners' talent the most. I think it's there.
I think they're the most talented team in the division.
Yeah, and maybe even the NFC. Believe it or not, I think the NFC is wide open. But I could keep saying that, and they've already thrown away. They didn't play well against Atlanta. I'm not going to call that a throwaway. They threw away the Bronco game. They threw away the Bear game. And if those 2 wins are there, you can have the Atlanta game. You can have yesterday. But the fact that no one's run away with the division, it's still theirs for the taking. but we can't go in 3 or 4 weeks from now. Well, they'll be fine. They got to start being fine and looking like the part that they are a good team.
And they got to take care of business at home. You got to take care of business at home, just like you have to take care of business at home as well. And I'll tell you, home equity has proven to be one of the strongest ways for families to build and pass on their generational wealth, intergenerational wealth, dare I say. The Equity Builder Program at United Wholesale Lending with my guy Shelby. He talked about this last week when he came on. Listen up, seriously. And this isn't one of those like radio pitchy, like, listen up, everybody. Here's the no, like that. Legit listen. First-time home buyers can get up to 10% of the purchase price of the home to put down. It's a loan, and it's forgivable if you live in the home for 5 years. I'm just going to throw out some simple math. I don't know what the rules and regulations are, but 10% of $400,000 is $40,000. Okay. You got $40,000 to put down that you got given to you in a loan. You stay in the home 5 years. Oh, you don't owe the $40,000 anymore. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. You got to be a first-time home buyer. You got to live there. It's your primary residence. Can't be an investment property. Got to meet the income limits as well. That's it. RefinanceWithShelby.com. Find out right now. RefinanceWithShelby.com. NMLS number 279051. BRE number 0186-4354. 6 days in addition to the Kings, let's look at the NBA season so far. What's surprising you and what hasn't surprised you? We'll do that next.
The place to tell you if the 49ers are contenders
or pretenders.
It's a pretty big deal. I've been a fan of the 49ers since, 84.
Your home for 49ers news and talk. Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Are pro football scores your thing? Well, Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge Chrysler Jeep Rams big guy Vince Bloom and Sactown Sports will pick 5 games to compare. Win a weekly Twin Peaks gift card and a chance at $50,000 at the Hard Rock Casino Resort at season's end. Visit the Sactown Sports website for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $37.99. Get everything you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Coastside Clinic. Are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The WAVE technology at Coastside Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your love life back. Call Coastside Clinic now to qualify. 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
It was a rough Sunday for the Sacramento Kings, who visited the Warriors last night in San Francisco, falling to Golden State 125-130. De'Aaron Fox led the Kings in scoring with 26 points while also dishing 10 assists. But the real statistic was the Kings setting a Sacramento-era record by giving up 89 points in the first half. The Kings fall to 0-3 on the season. They had their chance at their first win Thursday night against the Grizzlies. Speaking of a lack of defense, the 49ers struggled yesterday in their loss to Kansas City 44-23. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes diced up the Niners defense for 423 yards and 3 touchdowns. New San Francisco 49er Christian McCaffrey rushed the ball 8 times for 38 yards and caught 2 passes for 24 yards. The Niners fall to 3-4 on the season and head to LA to visit the Rams this Sunday. The World Series is set after the Astros swept the Yankees following a 6-5 victory in the Bronx yesterday. They'll be taking on the Phillies, who took care of the Padres in 5 games.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Popped up. Shallow right. Segura going out. Castellanos coming on. Castellanos does it. And the Phillies have the National League Championship. They have beaten the Padres 4-3, and they celebrate on their home turf.
Game 1 is set for this Friday in Houston. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Got a take?
Make sure it's a hot one.
Take a shot right now.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports 1140.
3 games into the season, and we know the Kings are 0-3. Yay! I'm really surprised and happy and pleasantly surprised and jealous of the Utah Jazz. What a story!
Yes, so far.
Quinn Snyder out, Will Hardy in. Will Hardy, you may remember, was one of the candidates for the Kings job.
Mm-hmm. But also Gobert and Mitchell, Bogdanovich.
I mean, more than that. Yeah, Brian Windhorst.
Royce O'Neal.
He knew what was going on. Royce O'Neal.
4 of their starters they dealt.
And here's the thing. They're 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Nuggets.
Yeah, but who have they played?
Right. They beat the Nuggets by 21
okay,
on opening night. They went into Minnesota. They were beating Minnesota, then got caught, sent to overtime, and that was after Kelly Olynyk fouled out in that game. They end up beating the Timberwolves into overtime by 6, which is pretty hard to do on the road. And what I mean by hard to do is that they beat them by 6 in a 5-minute period on the road. That's just not often that happens. They dominated them in overtime. Then last night, same thing. They were beating the Pelicans. Pelicans caught them. They go to OT. They trade threes late. They beat the Pelicans in New Orleans, 122-121. And they now play tonight, second end of a back-to-back, but they're at Houston against the Rockets.
Who's winless.
Who is winless. Now, if you were to look at, there are 3 3-0 teams in the NBA. By the way, you know who one of those are?
The Jazz?
Yes. The Jazz are 3-0. The Celtics are 3-0. And Sacramento Kings fans, by the way, the Portland Trailblazers are 3-0.
You're welcome, Portland. Kings helped you with that.
Yeah, how you doing? That's not just them beating the Kings. They also went on to beat the Suns and then the LOL Lakers last night.
Another 0-3 team.
But then you look at the Celtics. Jason, they beat the Sixers, the Heat, and the Magic. Sixers, Heat, Magic, Nuggets, Pelicans, and Timberwolves, with the Pelicans and Timberwolves being on the road. I would say if you didn't know anything about the season, you erased everything going in, all that, kind of like with college football, erase the
clean slate.
Utah Jazz are number 1 in the power rankings right now.
Yeah, based on win resume and being undefeated. Yes. Factual.
Which is insane. And I say jealous because I look at, first off, Salt Lake City is a smaller market than Sacramento. They're a 1-horse town, just like, in fact, they're less of it. Like, we have like 1 3/4 horses when you factor.
They have half a horse.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And yet they continue to, more often than not, find a way to win, keep winning. I'll say it once. I've said it a billion times. I'll say it again. And at some point, people are going to, I would hope, it's ownership. It's how the franchise is run. It's not a secret. Jazz got a new owner, young guy, tycoon, comes in. You know what he's done? Nothing. He's done. You know what? Oh, excuse me. I apologize. He went out and got arguably the best general manager in the sport and said, here,
make us better.
Make us better. I'm just going to sit courtside and cheer. And think about the Jazz. Think about the Jazz since you were a child. If you're old enough to remember when Stockton Malone played, they're a small market. You could actually argue, think about this. Utah is a very conservative, very religious state. Nobody thinks of Utah and goes, oh, man, the clubs. This should not be an attractive spot for you know how Miami has a built-in advantage?
Yes.
Salt Lake City has the option. Now, I've been there. It's a fine city and all that, but I'm saying from a young NBA player point of view.
Yeah, it's a tough draw for that.
Should literally be like the toughest. I can't think of a city that should be a tougher draw than Salt Lake City. But guess what? They're competitive every year almost. Like competitive. And in some years, what were they? Weren't they like the number one seed 4 years ago?
Yeah, with a roster really talented.
Yes.
And right now, it doesn't seem like they have that. Now, they did add players in these trades.
Yes.
That right now are playing well and well together. This will be another good case study because the NBA season tomorrow night is officially a week old.
Wow.
It feels like a lot has happened already. It's only 3 games. Hasn't even been a week of action. But sometimes it's the beginning. It's how you feel about a team. Like a 3-game win streak for Utah during the year would kind of be not even talked about, but they're 3-0. A 3-game losing streak for the Kings on its own. Okay. But you're 0-3. It just feels like a world of difference. It's our first sample of the season. So at the end, if Utah is a 24-win team, we'll go, well, that's about what we thought. Remember when they were 3-0? But they've started that way. This is what we've got to measure them on, and they've got to be really pleased with that. Also knowing all the picks they have coming, potentially even their own, if they want to be in their own part of the Wembanyama sweepstakes, but other teams may be helping them too.
Well, that's the thing is we were joking about it before the show. Danny Ainge could turn around, and he's got such a war chest of picks right now. Danny Ainge could absolutely pick up an all-star or two with those draft picks he's got. Easily could pick up an all-star. I mean, think about it. Gobert and Mitchell got him those picks. He could turn around and trade those picks for something very. If I don't think they're going to do this, but what a story for Coach Hardy. What a story for the players there. Are the Jazz going to make the playoffs? Almost certainly not. But what did we talk about before the season? We were talking about the Jazz. We were talking about the Blazers. The whole thing was, play in because, Portland. Listen, dude, look at those rosters.
Yeah.
I am not. Am I surprised? The only game that Portland has won that surprised me, honestly, was the Suns.
Phoenix in between the Lakers and Kings. Yeah.
Yeah. They're good.
Yeah. And then the Lakers yesterday. I mean, just a classic self-destruction late. I mean, LeBron takes an ill-advised shot. Russell took an ill-advised shot. It looked like a game the Lakers were actually going to win, and they gave it away.
Well, there's an interesting article on CBS Sports. I forget who the writer is. Sam Quinn. With 4:42 remaining in Sunday's game between the Lakers and Blazers, LeBron James made a driving layup. 2 points plus a foul. Put LA up by 7.
Okay.
Right before LeBron James shot that free throw, Russell Westbrook re-entered the game off the bench. Aside from that free throw, the Lakers would score just 6 total points for the rest of the game, being outscored 16-6. And he broke down, not just saying, well, Russell Westbrook came in the game and they got outscored 16-6 and they lost. Okay, but why? Like we said, draw the line.
Yeah.
Because they had Yusuf Nurkic guarding Russell Westbrook. And so he went in. It's a beautiful job, and I want to give Sam credit here, Sam Quinn. It's a beautiful job of him explaining that Russell Westbrook has been so terrible. And for a while now, but Jason, this year is especially special. 28 points, that's his minutes. His minutes are actually lower than his field goal percentage by 0.2 of a point. 28.9% from the field. 8.3% from beyond the arc. Jason, with 4 attempts a game, he has been horrific shooting. So what teams are doing now? They're having their center stay down and play off of him for 3 or 4 feet, let him stay on the perimeter and just sit back and guard, which not only lets you sit and guard him if he decides to drive, but also lets you help very easily If they swing the ball around and decide to come inside somewhere else, it's almost it truly is a 4-on-5.
Yeah.
That's how bad he is.
LeBron's been fine. AD's played. It's not all on Westbrook, but that team they look selfish. They look like they're miserable. I don't know what the fix is, and everyone's putting it on Russ, but even if you deal him, they just look broken.
There's no way this will ever happen. But LeBron doesn't have a no trade clause. He does have a 15% trade kicker. But don't you kind of get to the point at some point where you go, true or false, Jason? If you were hired as GM of the Lakers and all you were concerned is getting back to a championship, isn't the right thing to do to piece everything off? Trade LeBron, trade Anthony Davis, get all the picks and players you can get. And
what gets him the most? AD?
I think LeBron does, but asterisk here. I think LeBron does. I'm not arguing the play for play, although you can make an argument he'll probably play more games over the next 3 years than Anthony Davis does. But I think there's also that extra caveat that it's LeBron. Your jersey sales are going to spike. Oh, and he's going to break the scoring record on your home floor. Like trading LeBron, like if the Kings acquired LeBron, they're going to get all his stats, right? But the franchise value is also literally good. He's the one guy, the franchise value goes up. Yeah. Like he probably adds, if LeBron James came to Sacramento and played for the next 2 years, he probably brings in about $250 million in overall revenue. Because here's the other thing, Jason. I know we got a break here soon, but this is where it really gets fast. I get so nerdy over this stuff. So LeBron James comes in, right? Well, guess what? You just went from one national TV game a year to 15.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey, I don't know, Zoom copiers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, remember that fee we were going to charge you? You're going to be on national television now for 14 more times. We're tripling our fee, whatever it is. It's just the money that comes with him actually, I think, could translate into a higher trade value for him beyond everything else as well. And by the way, the energy in the building, if that happened, would be off the charts, whether it was from LeBron James or whether it was because somebody went to my good friends at American Energy, who have a phenomenal deal going on right now. Just $49. San Francisco, $49 for your air conditioner, furnace, tune-up. It's a 10-point tune-up. Wait, hold on. It's 20 points. Oh my God, it's a 30-point tune-up. That's what they did at my house. And that's why my air conditioner flew through like the hottest summer ever. Oh, wait. It's getting chilly. It was glass cutting weather yesterday. My goodness, with the wind. Hey, let American Energy tune that furnace up. Make sure your heater is going all winter long. By the way, it's also safer. Seriously, like, think about it. All the stuff that piles into your heater and the ducts and stuff, like, be safe too. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying it's nice to know that your vents are clear and all that. American Energy been serving Sacramento since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call American Energy today at 916-520-9990 or visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. It's AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Jay, I'm not asking you to do anything here, but would you just agree that whatever brand of coffee Earl is drinking this morning, he needs to switch to decaf? Seriously, like, I love Earl, but like, seriously, like, he's had 9 horrific takes this morning.
Earl's on drugs.
Yeah, something. I don't know what it is, man, but I think he needs to swish his head in the toilet.
Oh, we got to give context to the listening audience. According to Earl, the reason the league is interested in keeping Sacramento out of the playoffs and finals, the league doesn't want the Kings in the finals. If we hosted a 7-game series, there'd be NBA talking heads staying at the Best Western.
Oh, well, and also it's why we can't get an all-star game.
Apparently.
Because why?
Because Sacramento can't support a good team. We can support a bad team, but not a good team.
Earl, dude, just seriously, switch to decaf Sanka. When we come back, the news and celebrity birthdays.
Or just water, man.
Hey, something. God.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports 1140. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people that play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf.
It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa.
Every week on Sactown Sports 1140. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility, and Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. And Safe Credit Union. Let us put you first.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com. Two iconic legends performing on the same stage. Join comedic geniuses Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle performing live together at the Golden One Center on December 12th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Grab your tickets today.
Your back-to-back Big Sky champion Sacramento State Hornets are back in action at home this Saturday, October 29th, against the Idaho Vandals. It's homecoming, so arrive early for the homecoming festivities and the tailgate. Plus, post-game fireworks will light up the sky. Don't miss the excitement of Sacramento State football this season as your Hornets aim for another Big Sky championship. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The history behind the Bayonet and Black Horse golf courses is as colorful as their lush green fairways and white sand bunkers. Located overlooking the beautiful Monterey Bay on the former Fort Ord, Bayonet Golf Course was built in 1954 by Commanding General Robert McClure and named after the 7th Infantry's Bayonet Division. It seems the lefty general was plagued with a bit of a slice, and a little creative architecture managed to reduce his handicap with a series of sharp dogleg holes known as Combat Corner, where I've waged a bit of war myself. Black Horse was named in honor of the Black Horse 11th Cavalry Regiment. Lush fairways, imaginative bunker complexes, and beguiling bentgrass greens result in two sparkling ocean view gems, each offering a different experience. Bayonet's more traditional deep bunkers and tamer greens contrast with Black Horse's stunning large serrated bunkers and greens with more movement. They're a real treat. Visit BayonetBlackHorse.com for more. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Air and Solar, believing in a better customer experience since 1981. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot.
And what's not?
It's not good.
Brought to you by American Energy Air and Solar, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
Hey,
Who's
hot?
Whoa.
Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
Rudy Gobert. And the Jazz. Let's get this. Donovan Mitchell is the first player in NBA history with 100 points and 20 assists in his first 3 games with the team. Empty calories. Rudy Gobert leads the NBA with 18 rebounds per game. The Jazz are 3-0. What is happening? They traded their 2 All-Stars. They're 3-0. The All-Stars are thriving in their new environments. Huh.
Something is up. Something is amiss.
Hey, for who's not, Earl. Earl is on the chat now after we talked about him. You can check this out at Sactown Sports YouTube page. I don't understand why anyone is not making this connection. Sacramento is responsible for all of this.
And apparently when the Kings were good, NBA talking heads were not coming to Sacramento.
Yes, and their popularity was a result of being actually impactful in the league for approximately 1 season.
All right, this is enough for Earl talk.
Yeah, you're right.
Who's not?
Who is?
Jason, cover your headphones.
Oh, boy. The Kings?
The Yankees.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The last 5 ALCS appearances, 2022, they lost to the Astros. That was this year. 2019, they lost to the Astros. 2017, they lost to the Astros. 2012, they lost to the Tigers. And 2010, they lost to the Rangers. The Yankees are the first team in MLB history to lose 5 straight LCS appearances.
Hey.
Back to you.
That's no fun. Okay.
Anything else?
Nope, news and notes.
Stand by on this frequency. It's time for the news of the day.
Thank you for ruining the show and dropping a steamer on my journalistic integrity.
Today's important headlines, intelligent analysis, hard-hitting interviews.
Yeah, this is none of those things.
Here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Oh my God, I love those guys.
Earl wants us to stop bullying him. Okay, Earl.
We'll try our best.
Climate change activists have thrown mashed potatoes at Claude Monet's Le Mule. That's probably not how you pronounce it. It's a painting. And then they glued themselves to the floor. This is coming shortly. They threw 2 bowls of mashed potatoes at it and then glued their hands to the floor. We don't know if they aren't working. Yeah, I know, right? Come on. They did it. They said they want society to remember that the fossil fuel course is killing us all. This was just, like a week after the Just Stop Oil activists threw soup over a priceless painting by Vincent van Gogh, Sunflowers by Vincent van Gogh. They said, what is worth more, art or life? And then they glued themselves to the wall.
I'm going to go with art, by the way.
Right? Like, I mean, listen, I'm all for, do the right thing on earth. But, dude, come on, man. This not. And the argument there is like, well, you're talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about it like, boy, weirdos. Figure it out. Instead of throwing mashed potatoes at a painting. I think their punishment should be they have to remain glued to the floor for 3 weeks with just like water. And then people come in and just view them. View them along with the painting.
Mock them.
Keep them viewed, or keep them glued. Oh, what was
glued and viewed?
But yes. What was the other thing I had for you here, Jason? It was something with Russell Westbrook. We were talking about him. He's been really bad this year. How bad? His jumpers have been contested only 41% of the time.
Go ahead. Shoot.
According to Second Spectrum, it's the lowest rate of a jumper being contested in NBA history. Over a full season, only Andre Robertson and Joakim Noah were below 50%. Ugh. Finally, on this note, the Jazz lead the NBA in points, assists, steals, and threes.
The Jazz. This version of the Utah Jazz.
If those ladies want the people there want to throw a match, somebody, why is nobody gluing themselves to the ground out by the Jeffrey Coons piece? Gold one. Just saying, we want wins.
You down?
That's where you make your protests.
Yes, protest the lack of wins. How do you even change like, okay, you win, we're gonna make some trades. I need to go on a hunger strike. That's what I need to do.
Don't do that.
That boiler is getting large. Not a hunger strike, more like a hunger reduction.
Oh, that's good.
Today's World Tripe Day.
Tripe?
Isn't that the intestine or whatever? World Tripe Day. Yeah, it's you eat tripe. When you eat tripe, there,
Sounds
Jason,
like a fish.
You're eating the stomach lining of a cow.
Oh, that's close.
It says, before you start gagging, give tripe a chance. That's a John Lennon song. Just remember, one time the world considered food like lobsters and snails gross too. Somebody did gross me out when they said crabs are like the bugs of the ocean. Yeah, anyways. Tripe is big in Mexico, India, Portugal, Poland, and the Philippines. The Vietnamese use tripe as an ingredient in pho, which is their national dish. Anyways, yeah, I'm good though.
Yeah, no thanks on the tripe.
Like, I'm all for cultures and crap, but
yeah, but hold the tripe.
Yeah. World Meningitis Day? No, thank you. And by the way, it's 2022. Shouldn't it be World Persongitis Day?
It should be.
Hello. National Bologna Day. Either you.
Wow. I'm trying to think of the last time I had bologna.
I hated bologna as a kid. My mom got it like twice. Yeah, not a bologna.
Bologna and cheese.
Who really craves bologna? Like, is there humans that do that?
No,
Yeah,
and
there are.
Really?
Yeah, you're right. Like people,
Like fried bologna.
Fried bologna. People swear
that's
over fried
different.
bologna.
Fried bologna's
Honestly,
fried spam, much better that way. But I mean, just a bologna sandwich, not fried.
Yeah, I don't know. I guarantee probably Earl.
I literally knew you were going there.
Honestly, though, bologna was forever ruined for me when somebody described it as basically a circle of the inside of a hot dog.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, but let's make What would be the perfect bologna sandwich?
The one that you're eating.
But you're making one for yourself. That's all you've got. Well, you've got the other parts to make it. How would you make it the best?
All right,
bologna?
I'll answer that question, Jason. I would fry the bologna on either side, then I'd remove it from the pan, and then I would do everything I would do to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Mayonnaise on the outside of the bread, American cheese on both sides. I put the fried bologna in the middle, maybe,
sounds okay.
And I'd add in an egg. I'd add in a scrambled egg. On top, I'd make it a breakfast sandwich. I think you cover it up enough to where
bologna. It's what's for breakfast.
Breakfast, exactly. Bologna for breakfast. That was actually a '90s alternative.
Breakfast bologna.
Breakfast bologna. I don't have much else for you guys. Today is World Polio, Tripe, Meningitis, Bologna, United Nations, and National Food Day.
I got a Twitter ownage that I found funny.
Oh, please.
Tashawn Reed covers the Las Vegas Raiders for The Athletic. He tweeted out yesterday, the combination of Allegiant Stadium trying to make barbecue and Iggy Azalea performing at halftime is going to make me depressed. Do you guys know who Iggy Azalea is? Popular 7-8 years
Wasn't
ago.
that the one that the Laker guy cheated on?
You got it.
Okay, yeah.
She retweeted his tweet. If you think you're depressed now, I'll spare you the tears you'd cry knowing what my paycheck was to come and jiggle a little buttocks.
Oh, my God. Dead body.
Anytime you want to flex on somebody, money never loses.
No. We've talked about it before. What, Tom from MySpace one time?
It never loses.
I was ripping him, and he's like, I'm 38. I just sold my stuff for like $8 billion. I'm in Costa Rica right now, and you're about to go to work.
Yeah, rip me all you want.
Rip me all you want.
Never loses.
Never rip celebrity birthdays. Jason Ross.
All right, happy birthday on this October 24th to the one, the only Drake.
Drake. Drizzy.
Oh, who's that? He plays for the Niners?
No, he plays for the Raptors.
Drake Jackson?
Yeah.
He played for Kentucky. He's played for the Raptors.
Been in the Kings locker room.
Yeah.
Played for the Kings.
Aubrey
courtside.
You know what? We may not win a lot of games, but we're really good at celebrities.
Yeah. Kelsey Grammer.
Right. Hello. Drake.
Barry
Bonds. Brad Miller. Ron Artest. Jamie Foxx. We're really good at that. Rick Ross.
The boss.
I would say that Drake is 34.
Drake, I'm going to say, is closer to my age. He's 37.
Drake is 36.
Aha, I win. He went over it. That's
funny math.
We're not playing prices right.
Happy birthday to Jalen Ramsey.
Florida State's Jalen Ramsey is 28.
Former Pacer, Bull, and Raptor. Jalen Ramsey is 29.
Jalen Ramsey is 28.
Yeah, Florida State's Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Brown in all Jalen birthdays.
Rams cornerback.
Yeah, Jalen Brown is 20. Oh, God, he's 1 of 2. Damn it. He's 26.
Oh, you took mine. I'll go 25.
I was going to say 25, too.
You were?
Yeah.
Jalen Brown is 26. Happy birthday to Dave's favorite name, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is but he is 25 years old.
Son of author Dan Brown. He's 25.
He is.
That's what I said.
You both are wrong. He is 23. Happy birthday to Kevin Kline.
Kevin Kline.
Actor.
Acting. Kevin Kline is 67 today.
Joe Klein's dad is 64.
He's 75.
Yeah, I told you.
Happy birthday to Scott Peterson. That's Scott Peterson.
Oh.
Yeah.
He is 51 years too old.
Yeah, I'm not making any joke on this one. He's 53.
He's 50.
Boom! Got it!
And happy birthday to close out with Nikola Vucevic.
Back-to-back MVP.
Happy 31st birthday, buddy.
33.
Tie, 32.
Ha-ha! For Jason, for Jay, I am Dave. For Matt Barrows, for Frankie Cartoscelli. We'll see you tomorrow. Jim Rum is next. Go Kings. Love you. Bye-bye now.
The Carmichael Dave Show
with Jason Ross.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved.